Resuming the movies. Episode 11, Forrest.
Screenplay by Eric Roth, based on a novel by Winston Groom. Exterior Savannah Street Day, 1981. A feather floats through the air. The falling feather. A city, Savannah, is revealed in the background. The feather floats towards the city below. The feather drops towards the streets below as people walk past and cars drive by, and nearly lands on a man's shoulder. He walks across the street, causing the feather to be whisked back on its journey. The feather floats above a stopped car. The car drives off right as the feather floats down towards the street. The feather floats under a passing car, then is sent flying back up in the air. A man sits on a bus bench. The feather floats above the ground and finally lands on the man's mud-soaked shoe. The man reaches down and picks up the feather. His name is Forrest Gump. He looks at the feather oddly, moves aside a box of chocolates from an old suitcase, and opens the case. Inside the old suitcase are an assortment of clothes, a ping-pong paddle, toothpaste, and other personal items. Forrest pulls out a book titled Curious George, then places the feather inside the book. Forrest closes the suitcase. Something in his eyes reveals that Forrest may not be all there. Forrest looks right as the sound of an arriving bus is heard. A bus pulls up. Forrest remains on the bench as the bus continues on. A black woman in a nurse's outfit steps up and sits down at the bus bench next to Forrest. The nurse begins to read a magazine as Forrest looks at her.
Hello, my name's Forrest Gump.
He opens a box of chocolates and holds it out for her.
You want chocolate?
The nurse shakes her head, a bit apprehensive about this strange man next to her.
I could eat about 1,000,000 half of these. My mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
He looks down at the nurse's shoes.
Those must be comfortable shoes. I bet you could walk all day in shoes like that and not feel a thing. I wish I had shoes like that.
My feet hurt.
Mama always says there's an awful lot you can tell about a person by their shoes, where they've been going, where they've been.
The black woman stares at Forrest as he looks down at his own shoes.
I've worn lots of shoes. I bet if I think about it real hard, I could remember my first pair of shoes.
Forrest closes his eyes tightly.
Mama said they'd take me anywhere.
The county doctor's office, Greenbow, Alabama, 1951. A little boy closes his eyes tightly. It's young Forrest as he sits in a doctor's office.
She said they was my magic shoes.
Forrest has been fitted with orthopedic shoes and metal leg braces.
All right, Forrest, you can open your eyes now. Let's take a little walk around.
The doctor sets Forrest on his feet, and Forrest walks around stiffly. Forrest's mother watches him as he clanks around the room awkwardly.
How do those feel? His legs are strong, Mrs. Gump, as strong as I ever seen, but his back is as crooked as a politician.
Forrest walks past the doctor and Mrs. Gump.
But we're going to straighten him right up now. We aren't, won't we, Forrest?
A loud thump is heard outside as Forrest falls.
Forrest!
Exterior Greenbow, Alabama. Mrs. Gump and young Forrest walk across the street. Forrest walks stiffly next to his mother.
Now, when I was a baby, Mama named me after the great Civil War hero, General Nathan Bedford Forrest.
Exterior rural Alabama. A black and white photo of General Nathan Bedford Forrest. The photo turns into live action as the general dons a hooded sheet over his head. The general is in full KKK gear, including his horse. The general rides off, followed by a large group of Klan members dressed in full uniform.
She said we was related to him in some way, and what he did was he started up this group called the Ku Klux Klan. They'd all dress up in their robes and their bed sheets and act like a bunch of ghosts or spooks or something. They'd even put bed sheets on their horses and ride around. And anyway, that's how I got my name, Forrest Gump.
Mrs. Gump and Forrest walk across the street.
Mama said that the Forrest part was to remind me that sometimes we all do things that, well, just don't make no sense.
Forrest stops suddenly as his braces get stuck. It's caught in a gutter grate. Mrs. Gump bends down to try and free Forrest. Two old cronies sit in front of a barber shop and watch.
Now just wait. Let me get it.
Mrs. Gump struggles to pull the stuck brace from the gate.
Now let me get it. Now wait. Get it this way. Now hold on.
Forrest pulls his foot out of the grate.
All right.
Mrs. Gump helps Forrest onto the sidewalk. She looks up and notices the two old men.
Ooh, all right. Now, what are you all staring at? Haven't you ever seen a little boy with braces on his legs before?
Mrs. Gump and Forrest walk along the sidewalk past the two old men. She holds tightly onto Forrest's hand.
Don't ever let anybody tell you they're better off than you, Forrest. If God intended everybody to be the same, well, he'd have given us all braces on our legs.
Mama always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them.
At the Gump boarding house, Mrs. Gump and Forrest walk along a dirt road. A row of mailboxes stand to the left.
We lived about a quarter mile of Route 17, about a half mile from the town of Greenbow, Alabama. That's in the county of Greenbow. Our house had been in Mama's family since her grandpa's grandpa had come across the ocean about 1,000 years ago, something like that.
They walk along to the Gump boarding house driveway.
Since it was just me and Mama and we had all these empty rooms, Mama decided to let those rooms out, mostly to people passing through, like from old Mobile, Montgomery, place like that. That's how me and Mama got money. Mama was a real smart lady.
Now remember what I told you, Forrest. You're no different than anybody else is.
Mrs. Gump heads Forrest to the porch. She bends down to look him in the eye.
Did you hear what I said, Forrest? You're the same as everybody else. You are no different.
At the elementary school in the principal's office.
Your boy's different, Mrs. Gump. Now, his IQ is 75.
Well, we're all different, Mr. Hancock.
In the hallway, Forrest sits outside the principal's office and waits.
She wanted me to have the finest education, so she took me to the Greenbow County Central School. I met the principal and all.
The principal stands in front of Mrs. Gump. Forrest, sitting, listens.
I want to show you something, Mrs. Gump. Now, this is normal.
The principal holds up a chart with designations according to IQ and points to the center of the graph labeled normal. A red line below the normal area is labeled state acceptance. The principal points to the section below the acceptance line labeled below.
Forrest is right here. The state requires a minimum IQ of 80 to attend public school, Mrs. Gump. He's going to have to go to a special school. Now, he'll be just fine.
Now, what does normal mean anyway? And now, he might be on the slow side, but my boy Forrest he's going to get the same opportunities as everyone else. He's not going to some special school to learn how to retread tires. We're talking about 5 little points there. There must be something can be done.
In the hallway, Forrest sits outside the principal's office.
We're a progressive school system. We don't want to see anybody left behind. Is there a Mr. Gump, Mrs. Gump?
He's on vacation.
Forrest sits on a swing outside the house. Loud, organic male grunts are heard coming from inside the house. Forrest sits on the swing as the grunts continue. The principal steps out of the Gump house and wipes the sweat off his forehead. Forrest is sitting on the porch.
Well, your mama sure does care about your schooling, son. Mm-hmm.
The principal wipes sweat off his neck, then looks back at Forrest.
You don't say much, do you?
Forrest grunts, imitating him. The principal, embarrassed, turns and walks away. Inside the Gump boarding house in Forrest's bedroom, Mrs. Gump reads from the book Curious George as Forrest sits in bed and listens.
Finally, he had to try it. It looked easy, but oh, what happened? First, there was a little...
Kevin, play your younger self.
What's vacation mean?
Vacation?
Where Daddy went?
Oh, vacation's when you go somewhere and you don't ever come back.
Forrest lies down on the bed and looks up.
Anyway, I guess you could say me and Mama was on our own.
A cab driver closes the trunk of a car as 2 men walk toward the house. A milkman steps down from the porch.
But we didn't mind. Our house was never empty. There was always folks coming and going.
Supper!
Mrs. Gump steps forward and speaks to all the boarders.
It's up, everyone. Forrest!
A man with a cane steps left across the hall.
My, that sure looks special.
Mrs. Gump looks into a sitting room and informs the boarders about dinner.
Gentlemen, would you care to join us for supper? Now hurry up and get it before the flies do. I prefer you don't smoke that cigar so close to mealtime.
Sometimes we had so many people staying with us that every room was filled with travelers. You know, folks living out of their suitcases and hat cases and sample cases.
Well, you go ahead and start. I can't find Forrest.
Mrs. Gump walks up the stairs.
Forrest! Forrest!
One time, a young man was staying with us, and he had him a guitar case.
Mrs. Gump looks into Forrest's room. She hears singing coming from another room and walks over to a closed door. She opens the door, revealing a young man with long sideburns as he plays the guitar and sings. Forrest holds onto a broom and dances oddly. The young man is Elvis Presley.
Well, you ain't never called a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
Forrest's legs rock back and forth to the guitar.
Forrest, I told you not to bother this nice young man.
Oh, no, that's all right, ma'am. I was just showing him a thing or two on the guitar here.
All right, but your supper's ready if y'all want to eat.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, ma'am.
Mrs. Gump leaves and closes the door. Elvis sits back down. Forrest stands and looks at himself in a mirror.
Say, man, show me that crazy little walk you just did there. Slow it down, son.
Forrest begins to dance again, just as Elvis plays and sings.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
I liked that guitar.
Forrest dances and watches himself in the mirror.
It sounded good.
Crying all the time.
Forrest rocks up and down on his braced legs, then begins to step.
Well, you ain't nothing but a hound dog.
I started moving around to the music, swinging my hips. This one, not me and Mama.
Greenbow at night, Mrs. Gump and Forrest walk along a sidewalk. A television inside a store window reveals Elvis Presley as he performs Hound Dog on stage.
We was out shopping and we walked right by Benson's Furniture and Appliance Store, and guess what?
The television reveals Elvis as he thrusts his hips and sings.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Mrs. Gump and Forrest watch the television. Elvis dances around in the same manner as Forrest did. A woman in the audience is screaming and applauding.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Well, this is not for children's eyes.
Mrs. Gump walks away, pulling Forrest with her. He stops and takes one last look. Elvis continues to perform over the television.
Well, you ain't never called a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
Some years later, that handsome young man who they called the King, well, he sung too many songs, had himself a heart attack or something.
It's at the Savannah bus bench day. Forrest is still sitting on the bus bench. The black nurse looks at him.
Must be hard being a king. You know, it's funny how you remember some things, but some things you can't.
Exterior County Road, Alabama, morning, 1954. Mrs. Gump and Forrest wait for the school bus. The bus pulls up as Mrs. Gump prepares Forrest for his first day of school.
You do your very best now, Forrest.
I sure will, Mama. I remember the bus ride on the first day of school very well.
The bus driver opens the door and looks down. Forrest walks to the steps of the bus and looks at the bus driver. She is smoking a cigarette.
Are you coming along?
Mama said not to be taking rides from strangers.
This is the bus to school.
I'm Forrest Gump.
I'm Dorothy Harris.
Well, now we ain't strangers now.
The bus driver smiles as Forrest steps onto the bus. Inside the bus, Forrest steps up and Mrs. Gump waves to Forrest as the bus drives away. Forrest begins to walk down the aisle. Two young boys look up from their seats.
This seat's taken.
It's taken.
Forrest looks around. A larger girl slides over, so Forrest can't sit next to her. She shakes her head. Forrest looks to the other side of the boys, where he sits alone in a large seat. The boy glares up at Forrest.
Can't sit here.
You know, it's funny what a young man recollects, because I don't remember being born.
Forrest continues talking as he sits on the bus bench.
I don't recall what I got for my first Christmas, and I don't know when I went on my first outdoor picnic, but I do remember the first time I heard the sweetest voice.
In 1954, young Forrest is still standing in the aisle on the bus.
In the wide world.
You can sit here if you want.
Forrest looks back at Jenny Curran, a young girl about Forrest's age.
I had never seen anything so beautiful in my life. She was like an angel.
Well, are you going to sit down or aren't you?
Forrest sits down next to Jenny.
What's wrong with your legs?
Nothing at all, thank you. My legs are just fine and dandy. I just sat next to her on that bus and had conversation all the way to school.
And why do you have those shoes on?
My mama said my back's crooked like a question mark. These are going to make me as straight as an arrow. They're my magic shoes. And next to Mama, no one ever talked to me or asked me questions.
Are you stupid or something?
Mama always says stupid is as stupid does.
Jenny puts her hand out towards Forrest. Forrest reaches over and shakes her hand.
I'm Jenny.
I'm Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. From that day on, we was always together. Jenny and me was like peas and carrots.
At their oak tree, young Jenny and Forrest run toward a large oak tree.
She taught me how to climb.
Jenny sits on a large branch and calls down to Forrest.
Come on, Forrest. You can do it.
Forrest dangles from the branch.
I showed her how to dangle.
Jenny and Forrest sit on a tree branch and read.
A good little monkey, and she helped me to learn how to read.
Forrest hangs upside down from a branch and swings back and forth. Forrest's braces are wedged in the tree.
And I showed her to swing.
At night, the silhouette of the oak tree, Jenny and Forrest, as they still sit on the branch.
Sometimes we just sit out and wait for the stars. Mama's gonna worry about me.
Jenny puts her hand on Forrest's hand.
Just stay a little longer.
For some reason, Jenny didn't never want to go home. Okay, Jenny, I'll stay. She was my most special friend.
The Savannah bus stop day. Forrest nods as he remembers.
My only friend.
Forrest continues talking to the black woman. She doesn't seem to be listening as she reads her magazine. She looks up from her magazine.
Now, my mama always told me that miracles happen every day. Some people don't think so, but they do.
Exterior Oak Alley, another day, 1954. Young Jenny and young Forrest walk. A dirt clod hits Forrest in the back of the head. Jenny looks as Forrest rubs his head. 3 young boys get off their bikes and pick up more rocks.
Hey, dummy.
Forrest is hit in the eye with another dirt clod. Forrest falls backwards onto the ground as the boys glare at him.
Are you retarded or just plain stupid?
Look, I'm Forrest Gump.
Jenny helps Forrest back up. Boy 1 and 2 throw more dirt clods at Forrest.
Just run away, Forrest.
Another dirt clod hits Forrest in the arm.
Run, Forrest.
Forrest tries to run along the road, but his braces can't make it. He hobbles along as Jenny yells after him.
Run away, hurry.
The boys turn back towards their bikes.
Get the bikes.
Hurry up.
The boys pick up their bikes and ride after Forrest.
Let's get him. Come
Yeah,
on.
dummy, here we come.
The boys ride after Forrest and Jenny stands
We're
and
gonna
watches.
get you.
Run, Forrest, run.
Forrest hobbles along the dirt road.
Run, Forrest.
Forrest looks over his shoulder. The 3 boys race on their bikes.
Come back here, you.
Forrest begins to run faster with his braces on. He continues running as the boys chase him. Blood drips down from a cut on his head. The boys on the bike are gaining on Forrest. He hobbles along. He begins to gain speed.
Run, Forrest, run.
In slow motion, Forrest runs from the chasing men. He looks back over his shoulder in fear. The boys' bikes pedal faster and faster as they gain on Forrest. He tries to run faster to get away. Suddenly, his braces shatter, sending steel and plastic flying into the air. Forrest runs and looks down at his legs in surprise. He continues running faster and faster as the metal braces and straps fly off his legs. He runs free of his braces and begins to pick up speed. The chasing boys ride over the remains of Forrest's braces.
Now, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I can run like the wind blows. From that day on, if I was going somewhere, I was running.
At the Oak Alley in 1954, Forrest sprints away from the boys. The boys stop the chase and watch in disbelief. Forrest is already at the very far end of the road, clear of the chasing boys.
He's getting away. Stop him.
The first boy throws his bike down in frustration. Forrest runs across the field. Forrest runs past a chain gang in their prison uniforms. They're cutting the weeds on the side of the road. Into Greenbow, Forrest runs across the street. The 2 old men sit in front of the barber shop.
That boy sure is a running fool.
Forrest runs down a driveway toward Jenny's small house.
Now, remember how I told you that Jenny never seemed to want to go home? Well, she lived in a house that was as old as Alabama. Her mama had gone up to heaven when she was 5, and her daddy was some kind of a farmer.
Forrest knocks on Jenny's door.
Jenny? Jenny?
Forrest looks around the field on left. He notices Jenny and runs towards her.
He was a very loving man. He was always kissing and touching her and her sisters, and then this one time, Jenny wasn't on the bus to go to school. Jenny, why didn't you come to school today?
Shh, Daddy's taking a nap.
Jenny grabs Forrest's hands and runs into the field. Jenny's dad, drunk, steps out onto the porch and shouts,
Jenny!
Come on.
Jenny, where'd you run to? You better come back here, girl.
Jenny's dad steps out toward the field. Jenny leads Forrest into a thick tobacco field. Her dad runs through the field searching for Jenny with a bottle of liquor in his hand.
Where you at?
Jenny and Forrest run into a cornfield as Jenny's dad tries to chase her.
Jenny! Jenny! Where you at? Jenny!
Jenny drops to her knees and pulls Forrest down with her.
Pray with me, Forrest. Pray with me.
Jenny!
Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here.
Mama always said that God is mysterious.
Jenny! Get back here!
He didn't turn Jenny into a bird that day. Instead,
at a trailer park in Alabama in 1955, a police officer escorts Jenny to her grandmother. Jenny's grandmother meets Jenny outside and leads her towards the trailer.
he had the police say Jenny didn't have to stay in that house no more. She went to live with her grandma just over on Creekmore Avenue, which made me happy because she was so close.
At the Gump house, nighttime, 1955, Jenny climbs over a second floor railing and enters the house.
Some nights, Jenny'd sneak out and come over to my house just because she said she was scared. Scared of what? I don't know.
In Forrest's bedroom, Jenny lies in bed next to young Forrest. She hugs him.
But I think it was her grandma's dog. He was a mean dog. Anyway, Jenny and me was best friends.
Greenbow, Alabama, Oak Alley Day, 1961. A teenage Forrest and Jenny, they walk along an oak-lined road.
All the way to high school.
Suddenly, Forrest is hit in the back of the head with a rock. Forrest and Jenny turn around.
Hey, stupid!
Quit it!
A teenage boy throws another rock as a pickup truck pulls up behind him. Jenny turns to look at Forrest.
Run, Forrest! Run!
Hey! Did you hear me, stupid?
Run, Forrest!
Forrest drops his books and runs down the road. The teenage boy jumps into the back of the pickup truck with another boy as the truck speeds after Forrest. Jenny steps left and gets out of the way.
Come on, he's getting away. Move it.
Run, Forrest, run!
You better be running, stupid.
Forrest runs along the road. The truck speeds after him.
Come on, dummy.
Haul ass, dummy!
The older boys throw rocks at Forrest.
Yeah, you better be running. Yahoo!
The boys in the back of the truck throw rocks at Forrest as they drive up on him.
Move it, Jackrabbit!
The truck follows right on Forrest's heels. A rebel flag license plate adorns the truck's grill.
Come on!
Forrest runs along the road as the truck chases him. The boys in the back of the truck pound the roof as the truck turns right after Forrest. The truck drives into the field. Forrest runs towards a fence.
Run faster, yeah. Go, go. Come on, Forrest.
Run, Forrest!
Yeah.
Forrest leaps over a 5-foot fence as the boys try to catch up. Exterior Savannah, bus bench day, 1981. Forrest looks left as he continues telling his life story.
Now, it used to be I ran to get where I was going. I never thought it would take me anywhere.
Exterior High School Road, day 1961. Forrest runs along the road in front of the high school. The truck continues to chase him as the boys pound on the roof.
Come on! Woo!
The truck speeds past Forrest as he turns from the road and runs onto the high school football field. Forrest runs across the field during a football scrimmage. In the stands watching the scrimmage is the legendary University of Alabama football coach, Bear Bryant, wearing his trademark plaid hat. A group of assistant coaches sit around him as well as the high school football coach. The quarterback throws the ball into the air. Forrest runs past the quarterback. The receiver catches the ball. Forrest runs past the receiver as an opposing player tackles the stunned receiver. The football coach stands, followed by the assistant coaches.
Who in the hell is that?
That there is Forrest Gump, coach. That's the local idiot.
Forrest runs under the field goal post and through the end zone.
And can you believe it? I got to go to college, too.
At the University of Alabama Stadium Day, 1962, the crowd roars with excitement as the football is kicked off. The football players run around the field. The crowd of cheering fans create a huge sign that reads, "Go." Forrest is in a University of Alabama football uniform. He looks up at the cheering crowd as his teammates field the kickoff. Teammates run over to Forrest and hand him the ball.
Okay, run!
The football coach, the assistants, and Alabama players cheer on Forrest.
Run, you stupid son of a bitch, run!
Forrest runs across the field. He speeds past the defending players. He gets past the opposite players. The crowd cheers wildly, holding up cards, making a large sign that reads, "Go." They turn the cards over, creating the word Alabama. The football coach runs along the sideline as he yells.
You stupid son of a bitch, run! Go!
Forrest cuts and runs towards the sidelines. Two opposing players collide. The football coach and the assistant players motion for Forrest to run towards the end zone.
Run, turn, go!
Forrest turns up the sidelines and runs towards the end zone. Some opposing players fall down. Forrest runs along the sidelines and the opposing players try to catch him. Forrest runs into the end zone as an opposing player dives at his feet. The referee holds up his arm, signaling a touchdown. The crowd goes wild. Forrest continues to run, smashing through the band members, then all the way toward the team tunnel. The football coach looks to an assistant coach.
He must be the stupidest son of a bitch alive, but he sure is fast.
Now, maybe it was just me, but college was very confusing times.
In a Greenbow barber shop, black and white television, June 11th, 1963. An anchorman named Chet Huntley appears over the television.
Although troops enforcing a court order integrated the University of Alabama today.
Forrest walks through a large crowd of people at the university.
Governor George Wallace has carried out his symbolic threat to stand in the schoolhouse door.
Hereby denounce and forbid this illegal and unwarranted action by the central government.
Back in the barbershop, a black and white television reveals George Wallace as he stands in the doorway of the schoolhouse.
Governor Wallace, I take it from that,
Forrest steps over to a young man as the crowd looks at the demonstration.
Statement that you're going to stand in that door and that you are not going to carry out the orders of this court and that you're going to resist us from doing so. I would ask you once again to responsibly step aside, and if you do not, I'm going to assure you.
Earl, what's going on?
Coon's trying to get into school.
Coons, when raccoons try to get on our back porch, Mama just chase them off with a broom.
Not raccoons, you idiots. And they want to go to school with us.
With us? They do?
Forrest walks towards the schoolhouse. In the coach's office, a football coach looks at a black and white television as a newsman outside the schoolhouse speaks to the camera.
Block the doorway. President Kennedy ordered the Secretary of Defense then to use a military force.
Black and white footage cuts to George Wallace as he speaks to General Graham.
Hereby videotape is the encounter by General Graham, Commander of National Guard, and Governor Wallace.
We must have no violence today or any other day because these National Guardsmen are here today as federal soldiers for Alabamans. And they live within our borders and they are all our brothers. We are winning in the fight because we are awakening the American people to the dangers that we have spoken about so many times. Just so evident today, the trend toward military dictatorship in this country.
Some of the Alabama policemen and citizens clap as the National Guardsmen stand at attention with their weapons in front of them. Forrest walks through the crowd. Two black students were being led down to the schoolhouse.
And so at day's end, the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa has been desegregated. And students Jimmy Hood and Vivian Malone has been signed up for summer classes.
The young black girl drops one of her books. Forrest notices and steps past the policeman toward the book on the ground. He picks the book up and brings it to the girl.
Ma'am, you dropped your book, ma'am.
The coach's office, night, 1963. A coach looks at the television, revealing Forrest as he stands at the schoolhouse door looking around, then he waves.
Governor Wallace did what he promised to do by being on the Tuscaloosa campus. He kept the mob from gathering and prevented violence.
An assistant coach looks at the television and then at the other coaches.
Say, wasn't that Gump?
The football coach and the two assistant coaches look. Forrest dries himself off with a towel as he steps out from the showers.
NBC News will present a special program on the Alabama integration story at 7:30 p.m. tonight.
No, that couldn't be.
Sure as hell was.
Standard Eastern Daylight Time. Now a word from Anson.
Forrest steps up to the coach's area and grabs a clean towel. The coaches turn and stare at Forrest, and he gives them one of his silly waves, and then he walks on. Color footage as Governor Wallace waves at the crowd as he stands behind a podium with his wife.
A few years later, that angry little man at the schoolhouse door thought it would be a good idea and ran for president.
Governor Wallace mingles with a crowd. Gunshots are fired, wounding him. Some men wrestle the shooter to the ground, and Wallace lies wounded on the ground.
But somebody thought that it wasn't.
The Savannah Bus Bench Day, 1981. Forrest sits on the bench with a black woman looking at him. A white woman with a baby sits left.
But he didn't die.
A bus pulls up to the bus stop. The black woman looks down at her watch.
My bus is here.
Is it the number 9?
No, it's the number 4.
The black woman gets up and steps over to the bus.
It was nice talking to you.
The white woman moves closer to Forrest.
I remember when that happened, when Wallace got shot. I was in college.
Did you go to a girls' college or to a girls and boys together college?
It was co-ed.
Because Jenny went to a college I couldn't go to. It was a college just for girls.
At the girls' college in Jenny's dorm in 1963, Forrest sits outside Jenny's dorm room in the rain.
But I'd go and visit her every chance I got.
A car pulls up and a song is heard over the radio. Forrest, holding a box of chocolates, looks at the car. The two people inside the car begin to kiss and embrace each other. Jenny's inside the car with a boy. She leans back against the passenger side door as they struggle to get comfortable.
That hurts.
Forrest gets up and runs towards the car. He tries to look in the window as he steps over to the driver's side door. He opens the door and begins to punch the boy inside. Jenny jumps out of the car and runs over to Forrest.
Forrest! Forrest! Forrest, stop it! Stop it!
Jesus!
What are you doing?
He was hurting you.
Jenny's date, Billy, gets out of the car angrily.
What the hell is going on here?
No, he's not.
Who is that? Who is that?
Get over here.
Jenny turns and looks at Billy. Billy shoves Jenny's hand away from him.
Billy, I'm sorry.
What in the hell, Gert? Would you get away from me?
Don't. Wait a second.
Just get away from me.
Don't go. Billy, wait a second.
Billy gets back in the car.
He doesn't know any better.
Billy pulls away as Jenny steps towards Forrest.
Forrest, why'd you do that?
Forrest holds out the box of chocolates.
I brought you some chocolates. I'm sorry. I'll go back to my college now.
Forrest, look at you. Come on. Come on.
Jenny grabs Forrest's hand and leads him towards the door. In Jenny's dorm room hallway, Jenny and Forrest sneak to Jenny's door.
Is this your room?
Shh. She unlocks the door and they step inside. Inside, Jenny pulls a robe off her sleeping roommate's bed. Jenny hands the robe to Forrest, who's sitting on Jenny's bed.
Do you ever dream, Forrest, about who you're going to be?
Who I'm gonna be?
Yeah.
Are not going to be me?
Well, you always be you. Just another kind of you. You know? I want to be famous.
Jenny picks up a towel, then walks back to Forrest. Jenny dries the water from her hair.
I just want to be a singer like Joan Baez. I just want to be on an empty stage with my guitar and my voice. Just me.
Jenny takes off her slip, then sits on the bed next to Forrest. She's only wearing her bra and underwear. Forrest looks at Jenny like he's never seen a woman in her underwear before.
I want to reach people on a personal level. I want to be able to say things, just one-to-one.
Forrest looks down at Jenny's breast. She realizes that he's looking at her.
Have you ever been with a girl, Forrest?
I sit next to them in my home economics class all the time.
You're listening to WHHY in Birmingham, the clear AM voice of Northern Alabama. I'm Joel Dorn.
Forrest looks at Jenny as she removes her bra. Forrest looks away a bit ashamed. Jenny takes his hand and guides it up to her breast.
Coming to you on a night that is anything but clear. The weatherman says that rain's gonna fall all night long, so stay with us. Get warm, get cozy, get under the covers to the cool sounds of WHHY.
Forrest looks over at Jenny's breast, the shudder as he has an orgasm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
444-6789 with you till sunrise, playing the music you want to hear when you want to hear it. If you have a request, a dedication, give us a call. We guarantee you'll hear your requests within 1 hour.
Forrest breathes heavily. Jenny puts her bra back on.
It's all right.
Jenny leans over and puts her head on Forrest's shoulder.
Candy is on the line right tonight. Candy's answering the phones. Give Candy your request, your dedication, and ask her why she won't go out with me, would you? Here's more music.
It's okay.
I'm dizzy.
A song is coming over the radio. Jenny and Forrest hug.
I bet that never happened in home ec.
No.
Jenny laughs and kisses Forrest on the cheek. Forrest and Jenny hug as Jenny's roommate pretends to be asleep but is listening, horrified, with her eyes wide open.
I think I ruined your roommate's bathrobe.
I don't care. I don't like her anyway.
Back at the University of Alabama football stadium in 1963, Forrest runs across the field as the defending team chases him. The crowd yells for Forrest. They flip a sign that reads, "Go Forrest."
Run!
Forrest runs along the field. The crowd cheers.
Run!
Forrest runs into the end zone. The band members rush toward Forrest with their hands up, signaling him to stop. The crowd flips over the cards to create a sign that reads, "Stop."
Stop!
Forrest stops in the end zone as he hears the crowd yell. The band motions for Forrest to stop and stay in the end zone. A group of defending players fall over each other in the end zone. Forrest looks at the crowd as they cheer wildly.
College ran by real fast because I played so much football.
Black and white, Paramount Newsreel Day, 1963. The White House, with the words, "The eyes and ears of the world." Paramount News.
They even put me on a thing called the All-American team where you get to meet the President of the United States.
President Kennedy holds an autographed football as the All-American team stands behind him. Forrest is among the players in suits.
President Kennedy met with the Collegiate All-American football team at the Oval Office today.
Inside the the White House reception area, 1963, the All-American players mingle around a food table. Forrest steps up to the table, a large spread of food and soda on the table.
Now, the real good thing about meeting the President of the United States is the food.
He takes a bottle of Dr. Pepper from the buffet table. Numerous bottles of Dr. Pepper are displayed. A servant opens a bottle for him.
They put you in this little room with just about anything you want to eat or drink. And since number one, I wasn't hungry, but thirsty.
He begins to guzzle the Dr. Pepper.
And number two, they was free. I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
He sets down an empty Dr. Pepper bottle next to a large number of other empty bottles. Forrest holds his stomach and burps. Black and white footage of Kennedy shaking hands with all of the American football players.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Hey, it's an honor, sir.
Another player steps up and shakes the president's hand.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
The players walk away and Forrest steps up to President Kennedy. The president shakes his hand.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
President Kennedy turns and smiles.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
In the White House bathroom, Forrest urinates and then lowers the lid and flushes. He washes his hands, then notices an autographed photo from Marilyn Monroe and a photo of John with his brother Bobby.
Sometime later, for no particular reason, somebody shot that nice young president when he was riding in his car.
Archival footage, President Kennedy rises in a convertible and smiles.
And a few years after that,
Robert Kennedy stands at a podium as people around him applaud.
somebody shot his little brother, too, only he was in a hotel kitchen.
At the Savannah bus bench in 1981, Forrest sits and shakes his head.
Must be hard being brothers. I wouldn't know.
University of Alabama graduation day, 1966. Students in their caps and gowns step forward to the podium to receive their diplomas. Forrest's name is called. He steps up and accepts his diploma. Forrest Gump.
Now, can you believe it? After only 5 years of playing football, I got a college degree.
The dean shakes Forrest's hand vigorously. Forrest looks out to the crowd. Congratulations, son.
Mama was
Mrs. Gump,
crying.
sitting in the audience, cries. Forrest and Mrs. Gump have their picture taken in front of a large statue. A military recruiter spots Forrest and steps up.
Forrest, I'm so proud of you. Now here, I'll hold this for you.
Mrs. Gump takes the diploma from Forrest. The recruiter slaps Forrest on the shoulder and hands him some military literature.
Congratulations, son. Have you given any thought to your future?
Thought?
Forrest looks at the pamphlet with a photo of Uncle Sam and the caption, "Excellent Careers for Excellent Young Men. Apply now at your local U.S. Army recruiting officer."
Hello, I'm Forrest.
On an Army bus in 1966, Forrest steps onto the bus. Rain pours outside as the Army bus driver yells at Forrest.
Forrest Gump.
Nobody gives a hunk of shit who you are, fuzzball. You're not even a low-life scum-sucking maggot. Get your fucking ass on the bus. You're in the Army now.
Forrest is about to sit at the first available seat, but the recruit sitting there refuses him.
This seat's taken.
Forrest tries to sit on the next seat, but the second recruit slides over, blocking him.
It's taken.
Forrest steps forward, looking much like he did on his first bus ride to school.
At first, it seemed like I made a mistake.
A large black recruit with a strange look on his face, much like Forrest's, looks up from his seat. His name is Bubba.
Seeing how it was my induction day and I was already getting yelled at.
Bubba moves his case over, making room for Forrest to sit down.
You can sit down if you want to.
I didn't know who I might meet or what they might ask.
Bubba hands Forrest a handkerchief.
You ever been on a real shrimp boat?
No, but I've been on a real big boat.
I'm talking about a shrimp catching boat. I've been working on shrimp boats all my life. I started out on my uncle's boat. That's my mother's brother. When I was about maybe 9, I was just looking into buying a boat of my own when I got drafted. My given name's Benjamin Buford Blue.
Bubba and Forrest shake hands.
But people call me Bubba, just like one of them old redneck boys. Can you believe that?
My name is Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. So Bubba was from Bayou the Badger, Alabama, and his mama cooked shrimp.
Louisiana Kitchen Day in 1966. Bubba's mother, a robust woman in a cook's uniform, carries a bowl of shrimp into a dining room. She sets it down in front of a wealthy white man.
And her mama, before her, cooked shrimp.
In the early days of slavery, Bubba's grandmother carries a bowl of shrimp into a dining room. She sets it down on a table in front of a wealthy white man.
And her mama, before her mama, cooked shrimp too. Bubba's family knew everything there was to know about the shrimping business.
I know everything there is to know about shrimp business. Matter of fact, I'm going to the shrimp business for myself after I get out the Army.
Okay.
Inside the barracks, a drill sergeant is in Forrest's face as Forrest stands in line with the other recruits. Gump, what is your sole purpose in this army?
Do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Gump. You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I ever heard. You must have had a goddamn IQ of 160. You are a gifted private, Gump. The drill sergeant moves down the line to the next man. Listen up, people.
Now, for some reason, I fit in the Army like one of them round pegs. It's not really hard. You just make your bed real neat and remember to stand up straight.
That's one very intelligent individual. You lock your scuzzy bodies up behind this private, do exactly what he does, and you will go far in this man's army.
And always answer every question with, yes, drill sergeant.
Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes, drill sergeant.
Another day, the recruits are sitting at the base of their bunks assembling their rifles. Bubba speaks to Forrest.
What you do is you just drag your nets across the bottom. On a good day, you can catch over 100 pounds of shrimp. If everything goes all right, 2 men shrimping 10 hours, that's what you spend on gas. You can.
Forrest finishes assembling his rifle as the other recruits are still working on theirs.
Done, drill sergeant.
Gump! Why did you put that weapon together so quickly, Gump?
You told me to, drill sergeant.
Jesus Christ, this is a new company record. If it wouldn't be such a waste of a damn fine enlisted man, I'd recommend you for OCS, Private Gump. You are going to be general someday, Gump. Now disassemble your weapon and continue. The drill sergeant walks away as Forrest begins to disassemble the rifle. As the drill sergeant walks past Bubba, Bubba looks up at Forrest, continuing to talk about shrimp.
Anyway, like I was saying, shrimp is the fruit of the sea. You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. It tastes good on shrimp kebab, shrimp creole.
Another day, Bubba and Forrest shine their boots.
Shrimp gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried. There's pineapple shrimp, lemon shrimp, coconut shrimp, pepper shrimp.
On another day, Bubba and Forrest are on their hands and knees as they scrub the floor with toothbrushes.
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burger, shrimp sandwich. That's about it.
At night, Bubba lies in his bunk and looks up quietly.
Night time in the Army is a lovely time.
Forrest lies in his bunk and looks up.
We'd lay there in our bunks, and I'd miss my mama, and I'd miss Jenny.
A young private tosses a Playboy magazine onto Forrest.
Hey, Gump, get a load of the tits on her.
Forrest picks up the magazine and turns the page, revealing Jenny as she poses with a school sweater on, and that's all. The pictorial is titled Girls of the South. Forrest looks up with shock. He cranes his head up for a closer look.
Turns out, Jenny had gotten into some trouble over some photos of her in her college sweater, and she was thrown out of school.
Nashville nightclub, nighttime, 1966. Forrest, in his Army uniform, steps into the foyer of the club.
But that wasn't a bad thing, because a man who owns a theater in Memphis, Tennessee, saw those photos and offered Jenny a job singing in a show. The first chance I got, I took the bus up to Memphis to see her perform in that show.
That was Amber Flame. Give her a big hand, guys. Good job, Amber. And now for your listening and viewing pleasure, direct from Hollywood, California, our very own Beatnik Beauty, let's give a big round of applause to the luscious Bobby Dylan.
Yeah, Bobby.
The MC walks back off the stage, and the curtain opens, revealing Jenny as she sits on a stool on the stage. She holds a guitar up and begins to play. She's topless.
Yes, and how many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand?
Her dream had come true. She was a folk singer.
Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned?
Now lose the guitar, darling.
Hey, come on, baby, shake it up. Shake
Somebody
it up.
ought to get her a harmonica.
Blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
In, honey, this ain't Captain Kangaroo.
Ah, come on.
Band number 5 reaches up and tries to stick some money in Jenny's shoe.
Hey, honey, I got something here for you.
Jenny kicks his hand. He yells angrily and sits back down and tosses his drink on her.
God damn it.
Hey! Hey, you stupid jerk! I'm singing a song here! Polly, get out here!
Show us some stuff, honey.
Shut up! Oh, shut up!
Forrest walks up to the man, grabs him, and tosses him down on the ground. Another man tries to grab Forrest, but Forrest shoves him down too.
Forrest, what are you doing here? What are you doing?
Forrest climbs up onto the stage, picks Jenny up, guitar and all, and carries her out.
Come on.
What are you doing? Forrest, let me down!
Jenny struggles to free herself from Forrest, and he steps back in surprise. Jenny shoves the guitar at Forrest, and she walks off holding the guitar. He follows afterward. Outside on a Memphis bridge, Forrest follows Jenny over outside the nightclub.
You can't keep doing this, Forrest. You can't keep trying to rescue me.
They was trying to grab you.
A lot of people try to grab me. You can't keep doing this all the time.
I can't help it. I love you.
Forrest, you don't know what love is.
Jenny turns and looks over the bridge.
You remember that time we prayed, Forrest? We prayed to God to turn me into a bird so I could fly far away.
Yes, I do.
You think I could fly off this bridge?
What do you mean, Jenny?
Nothing.
Jenny turns and looks at the light of an approaching vehicle. She steps into the street.
I gotta get out of here.
Jenny runs and flags down the approaching vehicle.
But wait, Jenny!
Forrest, you stay away from me, okay? You just stay away from me, please.
A pickup truck pulls over as Jenny looks at the driver.
Can I have a ride?
Where are you going?
I don't care.
Get in the truck.
So bye-bye, Jenny. They sending me to Vietnam. It's this whole other country.
Jenny walks toward Forrest and she looks at the driver.
Just hang on a minute. Listen, you promised me something, okay? Just if you're ever in trouble, don't try to be brave. You just run, okay? Just run away.
Okay, Jenny. I'll write to you all the time.
Jenny takes one last look at Forrest and climbs into the truck. He watches Jenny in the pickup truck as it drives away.
And just like that, She was gone.
Mrs. Gump walks towards Forrest and sits down next to him on a log. Forrest leans down, placing his head on his mother's lap.
You come back safe to me. Do you hear?
Exterior Viet Cong, Mekong Delta, morning, 1967. The shadow of a helicopter over the rice fields below. A soldier is manning a gun from inside the helicopter. The soldier looks left. Forrest and Bubba ride in the helicopter. Fire base, 4th platoon. The helicopter circles overhead, then lands in the fire base, and that quintessential song, Fortunate Son, is heard. Bubba and Forrest jump out of the helicopter with their gear, and they look around oddly.
Now, they told us that Vietnam was going to be very different from the United States of America.
The soldier places a case of beer on a large stack of crates. He takes out 2 beers and walks away. In the background, soldiers are barbecuing steaks and drinking.
Except for all the beer cans and the barbecue, it was.
You know, I bet there's shrimp all in these waters. They tell me Vietnam's a good shrimp, you know. After we win this war, we take over everything. We can get American shrimpers to come on here and shrimp these waters. We just shrimp all the time, man. So much shrimp, why you wouldn't believe it.
Lieutenant Dan Taylor steps out of a tent, shirtless. He has a roll of toilet paper in his hands.
You must be my FNGs.
Morning, sir.
Oh, get your hands down. Do not salute me. There's a goddamn snipers all around the area who would love to grease an officer. I'm Lieutenant Dan Taylor. Welcome to the 4th platoon. What's wrong with your lips?
I was born with big gums, sir.
Yeah, well, you better tuck that in. You're going to get that caught on a tripwire. Where you boys from in the world?
Alabama,
sir.
You twins?
Forrest and Bubba look at each other oddly. They don't get it.
No, we are not relations, sir.
Look, it's pretty basic here.
Lieutenant Dan walks off, and Bubba and Forrest grab their gear and follow him.
You stick with me. You learn from the guys who've been in the country a while. You'll be all right. There's one item, GI gear, that can be the difference between a live grunt and a dead grunt.
He stops and looks at the boys.
Socks, cushion sole, OD green. Try and keep your feet dry when we're out humping. And I want you boys to remember to change your socks whenever we stop. The Mekong will eat a grunt's feet right off his legs.
Lieutenant Dan steps over to a large black soldier named Sergeant Sims.
Sergeant Sims, God damn it, where's the sling rope I told you to order?
Put in requisitions at battalion.
Yeah. Well, you call those son of bitches again, and you call them again and again and again. I don't care.
Lieutenant Dan sure knew his stuff. I felt real lucky he was my lieutenant. He was from a long, great military tradition. Somebody in his family had fought and died in every single American war.
We see several of Lieutenant Dan's relatives from the Battle of the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, Normandy, World War II, and now we are back in the Mekong Delta in 1967.
God damn it, kick some ass.
I'm on it, Lieutenant.
Get on it.
He steps back up to Bubba and Forrest.
I guess you could say he had a lot to live up to.
Lieutenant Dan continues as Forrest and Bubba follow.
So you boys are from Arkansas, huh? Well, I've been through there. Little Rock's a fine town. Now go shake down your gear, see the platoon sergeant, and draw what you need for the field.
He steps inside the latrine holding the roll of toilet paper.
If you boys are hungry, we got steaks burning right there.
He sits down out of sight in the latrine, then stands up looking at the boys.
2 standing orders in this platoon. 1, take good care of your feet. 2, try not to do anything stupid, like getting yourself killed.
He sits back down out of sight. Bubba and Forrest look at each other.
I sure hope I don't let him down.
In the rice fields another day, Forrest, Bubba, and the other soldiers in the 4th platoon walk across a rice field. Some Vietnamese farmers are looking at the soldiers as they walk past.
I got to see a lot of countryside. We would take these real long walks.
Another day on a jungle dirt road, his unit walking along.
Hold it up.
And suddenly, Lieutenant Dan holds up his signal for his fist for a signal. He motions for them all to get down.
Hold it up.
It wasn't always fun. Lieutenant Dan always getting these funny feelings about a rock or a trail or the road. So he'd tell you to get down and shut up.
Get down and shut up.
So we did.
Lieutenant Dan's motions for the lead soldier to get down. He crouches and he looks at the soldiers and points at his eyes. He lies down on the dirt road and crawls.
Now, I don't know much about anything, but I think some of America's best young men served in the war. There was Dallas from Phoenix, Cleveland, he was from Detroit.
Hey, Tex. Hey, Tex. Man, what the hell's going on?
Tex holds up his hands, motioning that he doesn't know.
And Tex, I don't remember where Tex come from.
Nothing. 4th platoon on your feet. Still got 10 clicks to go before the river.
Forrest stands up and begins walking with his platoon.
All right, move out. Coming out. Look alive there.
Good thing about Vietnam is there was always some place to go.
Fire in the hole!
Vietnam Viet Cong foxhole another day. Lieutenant Dan walks away as Forrest rushes over, aims 2 pistols at the hole, and then climbs inside.
And there was always something to do.
Mount him up.
Spread out, cover his back.
Another day, the platoon walks through the rice paddy, wades deep in the water, and it begins to rain.
One day, it started raining, and it didn't quit for 4 months.
The rain pours down on Forrest and Bubba as they sit in a foxhole.
We've been through every kind of rain there is. Little bitty stinging rain.
The platoon walks through the jungle as the rain keeps pouring down.
And big old fat rain.
They shelter themselves as they walk through the wind and the rain.
Rain that flew in sideways.
Forrest and the other soldiers walk chest deep through a river. Rain splatters back up from the river, hitting them. Forrest holds his hand up to protect his face.
And sometimes, rain even seemed to come straight up from underneath.
In the encampment, the rain pours down on the men of the platoon as they sit at camp. Bubba sits down next to Forrest.
Shoot, it even rained at night.
They lean back to back.
Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Bubba.
I'm going to lean up against you, and you just lean right back against me. This way, we don't have to sleep with our heads in the mud. You know why we a good partnership, Forrest? Because we be watching out for one another, like brothers and stuff. Hey, Forrest, something I've been thinking about. I got a very important question to ask you. How would you like to go into the shrimping business with me?
Okay.
Man, I tell you what, I got it all figured out too. So many pounds of shrimp pay off the boat, so many pounds for gas. We just live right on the boat. We ain't got to pay no rent. I'll be the captain. We can just work it together, split everything right down the middle. Man, I'm telling you, 50-50. And hey, Forrest, all the shrimp you can eat.
That's a fine idea. Bubba did have a fine idea.
Another night, some soldiers patrol the area. Forrest lies in a pup tent and he writes a letter as the rain pours down. He uses his flashlight to see.
I even wrote Jenny and told her all about it. I sent her letters, not every day, but almost. I told her what I was doing and asked her what she was doing and told her how I thought about her always.
At Jenny's grandmother's trailer, Jenny steps out with a backpack and a guitar. She hugs a hippie guy, then jumps into the back of a Volkswagen bus with another one.
And how I was looking forward to getting a letter from her just as soon as she had the time. I'd always let her know that I was okay.
In Vietnam, Forrest continues to write another letter in his tent.
Then I'd sign each letter. Love, Forrest Gump.
Exterior jungle day. The 4th platoon makes their way through the jungle and the rain. There's something happening here.
This one day, we was out walking like always, and then, just like that, somebody turned off the rain and the sun came out.
Forrest looks up as the sun suddenly appears. His platoon is attacked. A bullet kills a soldier standing next to Forrest. Bombs explode all around as the soldiers scramble to the ground.
Take cover!
Forrest crawls over a berm as bullets fly overhead and explode all around him. He rolls over and pulls his pack off. Lieutenant Dan lies next to Forrest.
Get that pig up here, goddammit!
Forrest, you okay?
2 soldiers with a machine gun fire into the jungle. Lieutenant Dan shouts over the radio. Forrest begins firing his weapon into the jungle.
Strong arm, please be advised!
2 soldiers pull a wounded soldier into the jungle.
Magic, we got a man down.
Strong arm, this is Leg Lima 6, over. Roger, strong arm, be advised we have incoming from the tree line at Point Blue +2, AKs and rockets.
The machine guns fire over the tree line. Another soldier helps with the ammunition and the machine gun jams.
Misfire! Misfire!
God damn it, Mac, get that pig unfucked and get it in the tree line.
A rocket explodes on the machine gunner and the other soldiers, killing them. Forrest looks down and covers his head as rockets explode all around him.
Ah, Jesus, my unit's down hard and hurting. 6 pulling back to the blue line. Leg Lima 6, out, pull back, pull back.
Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
Pull back!
Forrest, run! Run, Forrest, run! Run!
Pull back, let's go.
Lieutenant Dan gets up and grabs Forrest by the collar.
Run, goddammit!
The platoon gets up and runs for cover of the jungle. Rockets explode all around the field. Forrest runs into the jungle. The soldiers running through the jungle as bullets explode. A soldier is blown up by a rocket, and they continue to run. Forrest runs past the soldier.
Medic! Medic! Jesus, can I get a medic?
I ran and ran just like Jenny told me to.
Rockets explode in the jungle as Forrest runs out toward a clearing.
I ran so far and so fast that pretty soon I was all by myself, which was a bad thing. Bubba!
Forrest turns around and runs back into the jungle.
Bubba was my best good friend. I had to make sure he was okay.
Rockets explode. Forrest runs back looking for Bubba.
Any friendlies out there?
Yeah, I got 3 over there.
Where the hell are you?
Forrest stops, aims his weapon, and looks around, scared.
Bubba?
Something moves. Forrest turns, looks, then rushes over.
And on my way back to find Bubba, well, there was this boy laying on the ground. Tex!
Tex lies on the ground, his face distorted in pain.
Okay.
Forrest reaches down, picks up Tex, and he rolls him up onto his shoulder, then runs.
I couldn't just let him lay there all alone, scared the way he was. So I grabbed him up and run him out of there.
Forrest carries Tex out of the jungle and into the clearing. He sets down Tex next to the bank of a river and runs back into the jungle.
And every time I went back looking for Bubba, someone else was saying, "Help me, Forrest, help me."
Forrest drops another wounded soldier at the bank of the river next to Tex, then runs back into the jungle. Forrest grabs a third wounded soldier up from the ground and turns him over. It's Dallas.
Can't hear.
Dallas is dropped off on the bank next to the other wounded soldiers, and Forrest turns back into the jungle.
Oh, Sweat, man, just lay back. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
I started to get scared that I might never find Bubba.
You're dangerously close to crack arrow.
Forrest trips over something and falls onto the ground. He looks up to find 2 bloody legs. It's Lieutenant Dan who was wounded. He speaks into the radio.
Roger, strong arm. I know my position is danger close. We got Charlie all over this area. I gotta have those fast movers in here now. Over.
6, strong arm. We want it.
Lieutenant Dan, Coleman's dead.
I know he's dead. My whole goddamn platoon is wiped out.
Leg Lima 6. Leg Lima 6. How copy you this transmission? Over.
Forrest tries to pick up Lieutenant Dan, who pushes Forrest away.
God damn it, what are you doing? Leave me here. Get away, just leave me here. Get out!
Forrest pulls Lieutenant Dan over his shoulder and runs through the jungle.
Leg Lima 6. Leg Lima 6. This is strong arm. Be advised, your fast movers are inbound at this time. Over.
Then it felt like something just jumped up and bit me.
Forrest falls down.
Ah, something bit me.
Forrest gets up as Lieutenant Dan yells. Lieutenant Dan fires his pistol at the unseen enemy as Forrest pulls him away.
You dink son of a bitch, I can't leave the platoon. I told you, leave me here. Gump, forget about me. Get yourself out. Did you hear what I said? God damn it, put me down. Get your ass out of here.
Forrest drops Lieutenant Dan at the bank next to the other wounded soldiers. Lieutenant Dan grabs Forrest by the shirt, angry.
I didn't ask you to pull me out of there, god damn you. What the hell do you think you're doing?
To get Bubba.
I got an airstrike inbound right now. They're gonna nake the whole area.
Forrest gets up and runs as Lieutenant Dan yells after him.
Gump, you gotta stay here. God damn it, that's an order.
I gotta find Bubba.
Forrest runs through the jungle searching for Bubba. Forrest slows down and looks around carefully.
Forrest?
Bubba.
Bubba looks up as he lies on the ground.
I'm okay.
Bubba holds a palm frond over his wound. Forrest removes the frond to look at the wound. His chest has been blown open.
Oh, Bubba, no.
No, I'm gonna be all right.
Forrest looks around as he hears the voices of the enemy.
Come on. Come on. Come here.
Forrest carries Bubba through the jungle. The sounds of approaching planes fill the air.
I'm okay, Forrest. I'm all right.
The roar of approaching planes is deafening. Forrest looks up in fear. 3 planes dive down toward the jungle. They fire napalm as the jungle explodes with massive fireballs. Forrest runs, carrying Bubba, and the fireballs explode behind him. The entire jungle area is in flames as they run. Forrest carries Bubba to the bank of the river. Lieutenant Dan and the other wounded soldiers wait for a rescue helicopter.
Helo's inbound. Pop smoke. Get it up there.
If I'd have known this was going to be the last time me and Bubba was going to talk, I'd have thought of something better to say.
Forrest looks down at Bubba. A soldier releases a smoke canister.
Hey, Bubba.
Hey, Forrest. Forrest, why'd this happen?
You got shot. Then Bubba said something I won't ever forget.
I want to go home.
Bubba was my best good friend. And even I know that ain't something you can find just around the corner. Bubba was going to be a shrimping boat captain, but instead he died right there by that river in Vietnam.
The helicopters fly overhead. At the bus station, day 1986. Forrest continues with his life story as a man is sitting next to Forrest on the bus bench.
And that's all I have to say about that.
It was a bullet, wasn't it?
A bullet?
That jumped up and bit you?
Oh, yes, sir. Hit me right directly in the buttocks. They said it was $1 million wound, but the Army must keep that money because I still ain't seen a nickel of that $1 million. The only good thing about being wounded in the buttocks.
U.S. military hospital, Vietnam Day. Forrest holds 2 ice cream cones in his hand as he's wheeled on a rolling stretcher.
Here's the ice cream. They gave me all the ice cream I could eat. And guess what? A good friend of mine was in the bed right next door.
Forrest's butt sticks up and is bandaged. Forrest looks at Lieutenant Dan lying on the bed next to his. Forrest holds out the ice cream cone for Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, I got you some ice cream. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Lieutenant Dan, annoyed, takes the ice cream cone and drops it into his bedpan. Forrest slides himself onto the bed, and a nurse reaches for Lieutenant Dan.
It's time for your bath, Lieutenant.
The male nurse places Lieutenant Dan's hands on a pull-up bar, then picks up Dan, whose legs have been amputated.
Harper!
Another nurse wheels the rolling bed under Lieutenant Dan. The male nurse sets him down on the rolling bed. Forrest looks up as Dan is wheeled away. A soldier reads names from a pile of letters.
Cooper, Larson, Webster, Gump.
I'm Forrest Gump.
The soldier hands Forrest a large pile of letters, reading undeliverable as address, no forwarding order on file. Jenny Curran, Rural Road, Route 2, Greenbow, Alabama. Forrest looks down at the pile of letters. A group of wounded soldiers hang out in the hospital recuperating. Forrest sits and watches Gomer Pyle on television.
Gump, how can you watch that stupid shit? Turn it off.
From the TMZ to the Delta, you are tuned to the American Forces Vietnam Network. This is Channel 6 Saigon.
Forrest turns the TV off, and he hits the back of his head, and is hit in the back of the head by a ping pong ball.
Good catch, Gump. You know how to play this?
He shakes his head.
Come on, let me show you.
The
Here.
wounded ping pong player hands Forrest a paddle. Forrest and the wounded ping pong player step toward the ping pong table.
Now, the secret to this game is no matter what happens, never take your eye off the ball.
He holds the ball up and moves it back and forth, and Forrest keeps his eyes on the ball.
All right.
They play ping pong, tosses the ball down the table. Forrest begins to hit the ball back to the other player.
For some reason, ping pong came very natural to me.
See? Any idiot can play.
So I started playing it all the time. I played ping pong even when I didn't have anyone to play ping pong with.
The ping balls land in a bedpan positioned on a chair. A group of wounded soldiers watch Forrest play with himself. Forrest hits 2 balls at the same time against the opposite side of the table.
The hospital's people said it made me look like a duck in water, whatever that means. Even Lieutenant Dan would come and watch me play.
Lieutenant Dan stares out the window. Forrest lies in his bed asleep. A hand reaches up to grab him.
I played ping pong so much, I even played it in my sleep.
Lieutenant Dan pulls Forrest onto the floor and holds Forrest down.
Now you listen to me. We all have a destiny. Nothing just happens. It's all part of a plan. I should have died out there with my men, but now I'm nothing but a goddamn cripple, a legless freak. Look at me. Do you see that? Do you see what it's like not to be able to use your legs?
Well, yes, sir, I do.
Did you hear what I said? You cheated me. I had a destiny. I was supposed to die in the field with honor. That was my destiny, and you cheated me out of it. You understand what I'm saying, Gump? This wasn't supposed to happen. Not to me. I had a destiny. I was Lieutenant Dan Taylor.
Oh, you're still Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan looks at Forrest and then he lets him go. Lieutenant Dan sits up as Forrest stares.
Look at me. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do now?
In the rec room of the Vietnam hospital another day, Forrest plays ping pong by himself. An officer walks up to him.
PFC Gump?
Forrest immediately grabs the ball, places it down on the table under the paddle, standing at attention.
Yes, sir.
As you were. Son, you've been awarded the Medal of Honor.
The Vietnam hospital ward. Forrest stepped towards Lieutenant Dan's bed.
Guess what, Lieutenant Dan? They want to give me
Forrest stops in mid-sentence as he looks down at the bed. A heavily bandaged soldier with bloodstains lies there. Forrest turns and looks at a nurse.
Ma'am, what'd they do with Lieutenant Dan?
They sent him home.
2 weeks later, I left Vietnam.
Interior of the barber shop, Greenbow, Alabama, day.
The ceremony was kicked off with a candid speech by the president regarding the need for further escalation of the war in Vietnam. President Johnson awarded 4 medals of honor to men from each of the armed services.
The television reveals Forrest as he is awarded the Medal of Honor by President Johnson.
America owes you a debt of gratitude, son.
Footage revealing President Johnson as he placed the award around his neck and shakes his hand.
I understand you were wounded. Where were you hit?
In the buttocks, sir.
Ooh, that must be a sight. I'd kind of like to see that.
The television reveals Forrest as he drops his pants, bends over, and shows his bullet wound on his bare butt. President Johnson looks down and smiles. The 3 men in the barbershop look up in disbelief as Mrs. Gump watches in shock.
God damn, son.
At the Lincoln Memorial Day, Forrest walks by a fence surrounding the memorial as well as armed military guards.
After that, Mama went to the hotel to lay down, so I went out for a walk to see our national capital.
Hillary? All right, I got the vets. What do you want me to do with them?
What are you doing here so late?
Forrest takes a photo of the memorial as a woman named Hillary gathers around some more veterans against the Vietnam War.
We've been waiting for you for a half hour. So just get them in the line. Get them in a line, will you? Hey, come on. Pictures later. You look great. Come on. Get in this line. Come on. Right in the line. Get on. Let him here. Let him in here.
Hillary grabs Forrest and puts him in the line with the other vets against the war.
Good thing Mama was resting because the street was awful crowded with people looking at all the statues and monuments. And some of them people were loud and pushy.
Hillary leads the line of vets towards a large anti-Vietnam War rally.
Okay, follow me. Come on.
The group of vets walk along as Forrest tries to take another picture and a vet from behind pushes him along.
Let's move out.
Hey, buddy, come on. We could use your help.
Forrest walks in the line and a banner reads Veterans Against the War in Vietnam.
Everywhere I went, I had to stand in line.
Follow me. Let's go.
Hillary leads the vets through a crowd of people outside the rally. Another woman named Isabel leads the vets up towards the back of a stage.
All right, come on, guys.
Stand here.
Hey, you're a good man for doing this. Good.
Okay.
A man wearing an American flag shirt stands on the stage. He's the anti-war activist Abby Hoffman. We must declare to that fucking imposter in the White House, Johnson, we ain't gonna work on your farm no more. Yeah!
There was this man giving a little talk, and for some reason, he was wearing an American flag for a shirt.
Now I'm gonna bring up some soldiers that are going to talk about the war, man.
And he liked to say the F word a lot. F this and F that, and every time.
And this war has come home, and we have to stop these politicians.
He said F word people for some reason, well, they cheer.
These guys just told Lyndon Johnson where to stick this fucking war. Yeah! Forrest looks up at the cheering crowd. Abby turns and motions for Forrest to come up on stage. Come on, man. Come up here. Come on, man.
Come on, come on. Yeah, you.
Hillary pulls Forrest up onto the stage.
Come on, get up there. Come on, move.
The other vets follow Forrest as he pushes onto the stage and push him towards the microphone.
Come on, go. You can do it. Just get up there. Go.
Thousands of cheering protesters stand around the Washington Monument. Forrest looks at the crowd and Abby Hoffman steps up to him. Tell us a little bit about the war, man.
The war in Vietnam?
The war in Viet fucking Nam! And the crowd cheers wildly.
Well, there was only one thing I could say about the war. There was only one thing I could say about the war in Vietnam.
Forrest looks at the crowd as he speaks. A policeman looks around as he sneaks back over to the audio circuit board.
In Vietnam War...
The policeman pulls out the patch cords out of the audio board. Forrest's amplified voice becomes inaudible. He continues to speak into the microphone even though no one can hear what he's saying. Hillary looks over and notices the policeman. She rushes over towards the audio board and pushes the policeman away and grabs his nightstick. Another protester grabs the policeman and pulls him away.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
I'll beat your head in, goddamn oinker.
Hillary and Isabel and other protesters try to plug the tangled mess of wires back into the audio board. Forrest continues to speak into the microphone and the crowd grows restless.
Can't hear you. We can't hear anything.
Louder! Come on.
This one, give me that.
She plugs in the right patch cord.
Oh, that's it.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Forrest looks at the massive crowd and they are all silent. Abby Hoffman steps up and pats him on the shoulder. That's so right on, man. You said it. What's your name, man?
My name is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Abby raises a fist into the hand, and as he steps away, the crowd cheers.
Forrest Gump!
Forrest Gump!
Forrest!
Jenny wades out into the reflection pool and waves her hands into the air. Forrest recognizes her.
Jenny?
He rushes off the stage as Jenny makes her way out into the pool.
Forrest!
Forrest jumps down into the crowd and runs. Jenny smiles as she tries to run through the water. The crowd parts as they run together into the pool and they rush towards each other.
Hey! Hey!
The massive crowd cheers for the embracing couple in the pool.
It was the happiest moment of my life.
Exterior Washington Monument protesters encampment night. Forrest and Jenny walk past the protesters who are camping out on the lawn.
Jenny and me were just peas and carrots again. She showed me around and even introduced me to some of her new friends.
At a Black Panther headquarters storefront at night, Forrest stands in an open window and looks at the White House. A Black Panther named Reuben steps over and pulls the shade down. Shut that blind, man. Get your white ass away from that window. Don't you know we're in a war here? Another Black Panther named Masai grabs Forrest and pats him down.
Hey, man, he's cool. He's cool. He's one of us. He's one of us.
Let me tell you about us.
The hell you been?
I ran into a friend.
Our purpose here is to protect the black leaders from radical onslaught of the pig who wishes to brutalize our black leaders, rape our women, and destroy our black communists.
Masai, phone. Talk to these guys.
Who's the baby killer?
This is my good friend I told you about. This is Forrest Gump. Forrest, this is Wesley. Wesley and I live together in Berkeley. He's the president of the Berkeley chapter of SDS.
Let me tell you something else.
I want to talk to you.
Okay, but...
No, now, God damn it.
We're here to offer protection and help for all those who need our help because we, the Black Panthers, are against the war in Vietnam. Yes, we are against any war where black soldiers are sent to the front lines to die for a country that hates them. Yes, we are against any war where black soldiers go to fight and come to be brutalized and killed in their own communities as they sleep in their beds at night. Yes, we are against all these racist and imperial dog acts.
You're a fucking asshole!
Wesley hits Jenny across the face. Slow motion as Jenny falls back. Forrest steps forward with a rage, and in slow motion, Wesley turns and looks at Forrest. Forrest tackles Wesley and slams him onto a table. Jenny turns, looks as Masai pulls out a gun.
Forrest, quit it! Quit it, Forrest! Stop it!
Jenny rushes over to Forrest and pulls Forrest off of Wesley.
Stop it!
Jenny tries to help Wesley as he moans on the floor. Wesley knocks Jenny's hand out of the way. He gets up, holding a bloody lip.
God, I shouldn't have brought you here. I should have known it was just going to be some bullshit hassle.
He should not be hitting you, Jenny.
Come on, Forrest.
Jenny steps out the door as Forrest picks up his hat.
Sorry, I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
The group of Black Panthers glare at Forrest. He turns and walks out of the room. Washington, D.C. at night. Forrest and Jenny walk past the White House. Protesters hold a candlelight vigil behind them.
He doesn't mean it when he does things like that. He doesn't.
I would never hurt you, Jenny.
I know you wouldn't, Forrest.
I wanted to be your boyfriend.
They walk in silence. She touches his uniform.
That uniform's trip, Forrest. You look handsome in it. You do.
You know what?
What?
I'm glad we were here together in our nation's capital.
Me too, Forrest. I have so much to tell you. You won't believe what's been going on.
We walked around all night, Jenny and me, just talking.
Route 66 in a flashback. Jenny stands in the rain hitchhiking. A car pulls over and picks her up. Jenny and the other girls get into a car.
She told me about all the traveling she's done.
At a commune in New Mexico, a hippie gives Jenny a sugar cube of acid as they sit in front of a roaring fire.
And how she discovered ways to expand her mind and learn how to live in harmony.
At the Hollywood Walk of Fame Day, a star with the name Jean Harlow on the sidewalk. Jenny and two other girls sing on the sidewalk collecting change from passersby. Jenny plays the guitar.
It must be out west somewhere, because she made it all the way to California.
Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now.
A young hippie looks over his faded Volkswagen at the girls.
Hey, anybody want to go to San Francisco?
I'll go.
Far out.
Washington, D.C. dawn. Forrest and Jenny continue to walk through the park.
It was a very special night for the two of us. I didn't want it to end.
A parking lot, early morning. Jenny carries a backpack as she prepares to board a bus back to Berkeley.
I wish you wouldn't go, Jenny.
I have to, Forrest.
Jenny, things got a little out of hand. It's just this war and that lying son of a bitch Johnson. I would never hurt you. You know that.
You know what I think? I think you should go home to Greenbow, Alabama!
Forrest, we have very different lives, you know.
Forrest looks down at Jenny. He pulls his Medal of Honor from around his neck.
I want you to have this.
He places the Medal of Honor in Jenny's hand.
Forrest, I can't keep this.
I got it just by doing what you told me to.
Why are you so good to me?
You're my girl.
I'll always be your girl.
Forrest and Jenny hug each other. Wesley waits for Jenny. Jenny turns and walks up to Wesley, and they walk towards the entrance of the bus. Forrest smiles as Jenny looks at him. She climbs aboard the bus. Wesley glares at Forrest. Forrest gives Wesley the evil eye, and Jenny looks through the rear window of the bus, knocks on the window. Forrest turns and looks. Jenny waves at Forrest, and he looks up and smiles sadly. Jenny gives him the peace sign as the bus pulls away. The sign on the back of the bus reads, Berkeley to D.C. Forrest gives Jenny the peace sign.
And just like that, she was gone out of my life again.
Veterans Administration Hospital Rec Room Day. Footage of Neil Armstrong's first steps on the moon on television. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The surface is fine and powdery. I can pick it up loosely. Forrest demonstrates a ping pong to some wounded vets.
I thought I was going back to Vietnam, but instead, they decided the best way for me to fight communists was to play ping pong. So I was in the special services, traveling around the country, cheering up all of them wounded veterans and showing them how to play. Ping pong.
Bus stop, present day. Forrest looks at the man.
I was so good at that some years later.
Forrest plays ping pong against a Chinese player. A large mural of Mao Zedong hangs on the wall. A crowd of communist leaders sit and watch.
The Army decided I should be on the All-American ping pong team. We were the first Americans to visit the land of China in like 1 million years or something like that. And somebody said that world peace was in our hands. But all I did was play ping pong. When
The
I
bus
got
stop,
home,
present day.
I was a national celebrity. Famouser even than Captain Kangaroo.
Color footage of the Dick Cavett show. Dick Cavett stands up as he introduces Forrest.
Here he is, Forrest Gump right here.
Forrest makes his way onto the stage and shakes hands with Dick Cavett.
Have a seat.
Forrest sits down between John Lennon and Dick Cavett.
Forrest Gump, John Lennon.
Welcome home.
You had quite a trip. Can you tell us what was China like?
John Lennon lights a cigarette.
Well, in the land of China, people hardly got nothing at all.
No possessions?
And in China, they never go to church.
No religion, too?
Oh, hard to imagine.
Well, it's easy if you try, Dick. Forrest looks oddly at John Lennon.
Some years later, that nice young man from England was on his way home to see his little boy and was signing some autographs. And for no particular reason at all, somebody shot him.
From the studio later, a guard lets Forrest out a side entrance door. Forrest steps and then stops as he hears a man sitting in a wheelchair speak to him.
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Now that's Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan!
Forrest looks down at Lieutenant Dan. He is dirty with long hair.
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Oh, yes, sir, they sure did.
They gave you, an imbecile, a moron who goes on television and makes a fool out of himself in front of the whole damn country, the Congressional Medal of Honor!
Oh, yes, sir.
Well then, that's just perfect. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. I got one thing to say to that. God damn bless America.
Lieutenant Dan's wheelchair begins to slide down the ramp and spin around on the icy ground. Forrest looks down at Lieutenant Dan as he crashes at the bottom of the ramp.
Lieutenant Dan!
New York City streets, night. Taxi cab crowds the street as Forrest pushes Lieutenant Dan along the sidewalk.
Lieutenant Dan said he was living in a hotel, and because he didn't have no legs, he spent most of his time exercising his arms.
Take a right. Take a right.
The taxi driver honks his horn as Forrest wheels Lieutenant Dan out in front of the taxi.
Hey, come on already.
Ah!
What are you doing here in New York, Lieutenant Dan?
I'm living off the government tit, sucking it dry.
A taxi skids to a stop, almost hitting them as they cross the street. The taxi driver honks at Lieutenant Dan, and Lieutenant Dan slams on the bumper of the taxi.
Hey, hey, hey! What are you, blind? I'm walking here. Ah, get out.
Why don't you go home before you kill yourself? Get out of the way!
Come on, go, go, go!
Lieutenant Dan's hotel room later. A Bob Hope Christmas special in Vietnam on television. Lieutenant Dan and Forrest watch the television.
I stayed with Lieutenant Dan and celebrated the holidays.
You have a great year and hurry home. God bless you.
Have you found Jesus yet, Gump?
I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for him, sir.
Dan chuckles and drinks the rest of a bottle of wine and tosses it down. He looks at Forrest, and he wheels himself to the television and turns it off.
That's all these cripples down at the VA. That's all they ever talk about.
Lieutenant Dan picks up another bottle of port wine, but it's empty. He tosses it on the floor.
Jesus this and Jesus that. Have I found Jesus? They even had a priest come out and talk to me. He said, God is listening, but I have to help myself. If I accept Jesus into my heart, I get to walk beside him in the kingdom of heaven.
Dan tosses another empty liquor bottle down and picks up another bottle. He becomes enraged and he throws the bottle and looks at Forrest.
Did you hear what I said? Walk beside him in the kingdom of heaven? Well, kiss my crippled ass. God is listening? What a crock of shit.
I'm going to heaven, Lieutenant Dan.
Huh? Well, before you go, why don't you get your ass down to the corner and get us another bottle of wine?
Yes, sir.
In a Times Square bar at night, a television shows Dick Clark as he MCs the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration.
We are approximately at 45th Street in New York City and One Astor Plaza. This is the site of the old Astor Hotel. Down below us, well over 100,000 people are milling about, cheering with horns and whistles and hats.
What the hell's in Bayou La Batere?
Shrimping boats.
Shrimping boats. Who gives a shit about shrimping boats?
I gotta buy me one of them shrimping boats as soon as I have some money. I made a promise to Bubba in Vietnam that as soon as the war was over, we'd go in partners. He'd be the captain of the shrimping boat and I'd be his first mate. But now that he's dead, That means I gotta be the captain.
A shrimp boat captain.
Yes, sir. Promise is a promise, Lieutenant Dan.
Now hear this. Private Gump here is going to be a shrimp boat captain. Well, I'll tell you what, Gilligan. The day that you are a shrimp boat captain, I will come and be your first mate.
Okay.
If you're ever a shrimp boat captain, that's the day I'm an astronaut.
Two sleazy women named Lenore and Carla walk up to Lieutenant Dan.
Danny, what are you complaining about?
What are you doing? Huh?
Mr. Hot Wheels. Who's your friend?
My name is Forrest. Forrest Gump.
This is Cunning Carla and Long Lives Lenore.
Carla puts on a Happy New Year crown on Lieutenant Dan's head. Lenore fixes her makeup.
So where you been, baby cakes? Huh? Haven't seen you around lately. You know, you should have been here for Christmas because Tommy brought around for the house and gave everybody a turkey sandwich.
Well, I had company.
Hey, we was just there. That's at Times Square.
Lenore leans and speaks into Forrest's ear.
Don't you just love New Year's? You get to start all over.
Hey, Lenore.
Everybody gets a second chance.
It's funny, but in the middle of all that fun, I began to think about Jenny.
Getting wild out there. It's beginning to.
The new in an apartment in LA, the New Year's Eve celebration over the TV.
Pour here in Times Square. It's been off and on all night, but these people hang in there.
Jenny fills her bag with her belongings.
Wondering how she was spending her New Year's night out in California.
A man lies passed out on the bed. Jenny looks at her black eye in a mirror, then leaves the apartment. The TV shows the ball in Times Square. Over the television in the Times Square bar night, the ball is lowered to a sign that reads 1972.
3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year! The people in the bar cheer and kiss each other. They blow horns and toss confetti in the air. Forrest looks around as Carla and Lenore lean over and kiss him. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
Happy New Year, Lieutenant Dan.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of lang syne? Inside Lieutenant Dan's hotel room later, Carla removes her top and sits on top of Lieutenant Dan in his wheelchair. They kiss and play around. Forrest sits in a chair. Lenore leaps on him and begins to kiss Forrest. She reaches down to Forrest's crotch. Forrest stands up nervously, causing Lenore to fall down on the floor. Lenore stands up angry.
What are you, stupid or something? What's your problem? What's his problem? Did he lose his pecker in the war or something?
What is your friend stupid or something?
What did you say?
I said, is your friend stupid or something?
Hey, don't call him stupid.
Lieutenant Dan throws Carla back onto the bed.
Don't push me like that.
Hey, don't push her like that.
You shut up. Don't ever call him stupid.
What's the matter, baby? Why are you treating me like shit?
Get the hell out of here.
Stupid gimp. You belong in Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Get the hell out of here. Go on.
You should be in a sideshow.
Go on. Get out of here.
You big
Get
loser.
out of here.
Come on, Lenore. We don't need this shit.
You're so pathetic.
Get out of here.
Lieutenant Dan falls out of his wheelchair and lands on the ground. Lenore and Carla laugh as they leave the apartment.
You retard.
You loser. You freak.
Forrest tries to help Lieutenant Dan. He pushes him away.
No.
Forrest steps back as Lieutenant Dan flips back over, then pulls himself back up into his wheelchair, and he breathes heavily.
I'm sorry I ruined your New Year's Eve party, Lieutenant Dan. She tastes like cigarettes. I guess Lieutenant Dan figured there's some things you just can't change. He didn't want to be called crippled, just like I didn't want to be called stupid.
Happy New Year.
Exterior White House night. An anchorman reports from in front of the White House.
The U.S. ping pong team met with President Nixon today at an Oval Office ceremony.
And wouldn't you know it,
At the present at the bus stop, Forrest looks at the fat man on the bench.
a few months later, they invited me and the ping pong team to visit the White House. So I went again, and I met the President of the United States again.
Interior White House Day. A plaque presented to Forrest reads, presented to Forrest Gump, member of the United States table tennis team as a player for the year of 1971. President Nixon holds the plaque.
Only this time, they didn't get us rooms in a real fancy hotel.
So are you enjoying yourself in our nation's capital, young man?
Yes, sir.
Well, where are you staying?
It's called the Hotel Abbott.
Oh, no. I know of a much nicer hotel. It's brand new, very modern. I'll have my people take care of it for you. Interior Watergate Hotel Room Night. Forrest speaks on the phone.
Security, Frank Willis.
Forrest steps over to a window. Flashlights are moving around in an office across from Forrest's room.
Yeah, sir. You might want to send a maintenance man over to that office across the way. The lights are off and they must be looking for the fuse box or something, because them flashlights, they're keeping me awake.
Okay, sir, I'll check it out.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good night.
Good night.
Forrest hangs up the phone. The camera tilts down, revealing the hotel stationery, which reads the Watergate Hotel. Interior Gymnasium Day. President Nixon makes his resignation speech on television. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. The television cuts to a shot of President Nixon standing outside Air Force One with his hands raised in the peace sign. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office. As I recall the high hopes for America with which we began this second term, I feel a great sadness that I will not be here in this office. Forrest is playing ping pong by himself at the gymnasium. An officer steps up to him.
Sergeant Gump,
Yes, sir.
as you were, I have your discharge papers. Your service is up, son.
The officer hands Forrest an envelope and walks away.
Does this mean I can't play ping pong no more?
For the Army, it does.
And just like that, my service in the United States Army was over. So I went home.
Forrest takes his paddle and runs out of the gymnasium. Mrs. Gump walks out of the house and smiles. Forrest walks up wearing his uniform.
I'm home, Mama.
Oh, I know.
Interior Gump house. Mrs. Gump and Forrest walk inside.
Oh, Louise, he's here. He's here, everybody.
Now, when I got home, I had no idea that Mama had all sorts of visitors.
In the house are stacks of ping pong paddles and life-size cutouts of Forrest playing ping pong. The name on the ping pong paddle reads Gump Mac Table Tennis.
Oh, we've had all sorts of videos. Forrest, everybody wants you to use our ping pong stuff. One man even left a check for $25,000 if you'd be agreeable, saying you like using their paddle.
Oh, Mama, I only like using my own paddle. Hi, Miss Louise.
Hey, Forrest.
I know that. But it's $25,000, Forrest. I thought maybe you could hold it for a while, see if it grows on you. Oh, you look good, Forrest. You look real good.
That Mama, she sure was right. It's funny how things work out.
Exterior Biola Battery, Louisiana, Bubba's mom's house. Day. Forrest walks up to a shack on the edge of the bayou. A group of children play in the front yard.
I didn't stay home for long because I'd made a promise to Bubba, and I was trying to keep my promise. So I went down to Bayou Labiter to meet Bubba's family and make their introduction.
Bubba's mother, named Mrs. Blue, and her other children look at Forrest.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
Stupid is as stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
I guess.
Bubba's grave. Day. Forrest steps over to Bubba's tombstone.
And of course, I paid my respect to Bubba himself. Hey, Bubba, it's me, Forrest Gump. I remember everything you said, and I got it all figured out.
He pulls notes out of his pocket.
I'm taking the $24,562.47 that I got.
Forrest walks across the yard where men are clearing shrimp.
Well, that's left after a new haircut and a new suit, and I took Mama out to real fancy dinner, and I bought a bus ticket and 3 Dr. Peppers.
He walks along the wooden pier. Forrest pays an old black shrimper a large wad of cash.
Tell me something. Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Bubba's grave. Forrest stands.
Well, that's what's left for me after me saying, when I was in China on the All-American ping pong team, I just loved playing ping pong with my Flexor ping pong paddle, which everybody knows isn't true. But Mama says it's just a little white lie, so it wouldn't hurt nobody. So anyway, I'm putting all that on gas, ropes, and new nets, and a brand new shrimping boat.
The bayou, day. Forrest steers his shrimping boat. The boat is old and rusty. Forrest unleashes his nets as his catch of the day drops onto the deck. It's a bunch of garbage and shells. He picks up one shrimp.
Now, Bubba had told me everything he knows about shrimping, but you know what I found out? Shrimping is tough.
At the docks, Forrest pulls a couple of shrimp out of a bucket.
I only caught 5.
A couple more, you can have yourself a cocktail.
The old shrimper begins to walk away, then stops and looks at Forrest.
Hey, you ever think about naming this old boat?
I'd never named the boat before, but there was only one I could think of.
Forrest paints a name on the side of the boat. The boat is named Jenny.
The most beautiful name in the wide world.
Inside a disco, disco lights flash and people dance. A guy asks a girl for a dance.
Okay.
Jenny sits at a table with some other people. She's snorting cocaine.
Now, I hadn't heard from Jenny in a long while, but...
By a labatry, day, Forrest stands at the helm of his boat and glides along the water.
But I thought about her a lot, and I hoped that whatever she was doing made her happy.
Interior apartment, night. Drug paraphernalia and a large wad of cash are spread out on a table. A man drops a syringe on the table. He reaches over and touches Jenny. She's pale with dark lines under her eyes. Interior bathroom. Jenny smears some of the line of cocaine on a mirror. She looks at herself in the mirror. On a balcony, Jenny steps out onto the high-rise balcony. She steps up on a table, then stands on the edge of the balcony. A busy street lies many stories below. Jenny looks down at the intersection. She slips over the edge, regains her balance, turns, and looks back at the intersection below and begins to get down from the edge. She grabs a hold of the ledge and carefully climbs down. She sits down on a chair. Jenny rocks back and forth as she cries and looks up at the sky. By a labatry on Forrest's boat at night, the moon shines above in the sky, and he lays in a hammock.
I thought about Jenny all the time.
Forrest's boat by a labatry dock, day. Forrest stands at the helm of the boat and slowly glides it to the docks. He looks around and notices something and bends down to get a clear view. Lieutenant Dan sits in his wheelchair on the deck. Forrest looks at Lieutenant Dan. He smiles, surprised.
Hi!
Forrest leaps off his moving boat and into the water. The boat continues as Forrest clumsily swims. Lieutenant Dan sits in his wheelchair at the edge of the dock. Forrest flails his arms as he swims up to the dock. Lieutenant Dan waits for Forrest, smoking a cigar, and he climbs up the ladder onto the dock.
Lieutenant Dan, what are you doing here?
Well, I thought I'd try out my sea legs.
Well, you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Well. Captain Forrest Gump. I had to see this for myself, and I told you, if you were ever a shrimp boat captain, that I'd be your first mate. Well, I am here, and I'm a man of my word.
Okay.
They shake hands.
Yeah, but don't you go thinking about that I'm going to be calling you sir.
No, sir.
Forrest's boat glides, crushing a dock. Forrest and Lieutenant Dan look at it.
Oh, that's my boat.
Exterior Biolobattery Waters Day. Forrest's shrimping boat is alone on the Gulf waters.
I have a feeling if we head east, we'll find some shrimp, so take a left. Take a left!
Forrest looks up. Lieutenant Dan is sitting in the rigging.
Which way?
Over there! They're over there! Get out on the wheel and take a left!
Okay.
Gump! What are you doing? Take a left, left! That's where we're going to find the shrimp, my boy. That's where we'll find them.
Forrest empties the net. Their catch is debris that falls onto the deck.
Still no shrimp, Lieutenant Dan.
Okay, so I was wrong.
Well, how are we going to find them?
Well, maybe you should just pray for shrimp.
Interior of a small church, day. An all-black gospel choir sings and claps their hands.
So I went to church every Sunday.
Lieutenant Dan is sitting in his chair at the back of the church. He takes a swig from a liquor bottle.
Sometimes Lieutenant Dan came too, though I think he left the praying up to me.
On the boat on another day, a catch of junk is dumped on the deck. Lieutenant Dan lowers himself from the rigging.
No shrimp.
Where the hell's this God of yours?
The winds begin to blow strong.
It's funny. Lieutenant Dan said that because right then, God showed up.
Exterior boat night. The water sprays onto the deck during a hurricane. Lieutenant Dan on the rigging shouts and shakes his fists as he is pelted by the wind and the rain.
You'll never sink this boat!
Now me, I was scared, but Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.
Come on, you call this a storm?
Forrest slides back and forth as he attempts to steer the boat.
Blow, you son of a bitch, blow! It's time for a showdown. You and me, right here. Come and get me. You'll never sink this boat.
Interior Gump House, day. An anchorman on TV is standing in front of the pier.
Hurricane Carmen came through here yesterday.
On the Viola Battery docks, the anchorman is standing in front of the ruined pier and boats.
Destroying nearly everything in its path. And as in other towns up and down the coast, Bayou Liberty's entire shipping industry
Interior Gump House
has fallen victim to Carmen and has been left in utter ruin. Speaking with local officials, this reporter has learned, in fact, only one shrimping boat actually survived the storm.
Forrest's boat come down the river.
Louise, there's Forrest.
After that, shrimping was easy.
Lieutenant Dan and Forrest empty their net. A huge catch of shrimp falls on the deck. Lieutenant Dan opens another big catch. Another catch jumps on top of yet another huge catch. Forrest and Lieutenant Dan smile.
And since people still need them shrimps for shrimp cocktails and barbecues and all.
Exterior bus stop, present. The man sitting on the bench listens to Forrest. An elderly woman sits next to him.
And we were the only boat left standing. Bubba Gump, shrimp's what they got. We got a whole bunch of boats, 12 jennies, a big old warehouse, and we even have hats that say Bubba Gump on them. Bubba Gump Shrimp. It's a household name.
Hold on there, boy. Are you telling me you're the owner of the Bubba Gump Shrimp Corporation?
Why, yes, sir. We got more money than Davy Crockett.
Boy, I heard some whoppers in my time, but that tops them all. We were sitting next to a millionaire.
The man laughs as he walks away.
Well, I thought it was a very lovely story. And you tell it so well, with such enthusiasm.
Would you like to see what Lieutenant Dan looks like?
Well, yes, I would.
Forrest shows her the cover of a Fortune magazine with Forrest and Lieutenant Dan on the cover.
That's him right there.
The elderly woman looks at the magazine and at Forrest with surprise.
And let me tell you something about Lieutenant Dan.
On the boat and deck day, Forrest and Lieutenant Dan are working.
Forrest, I never thanked you for saving my life.
Forrest looks a little surprised. Lieutenant Dan smiles, then looks away. Lieutenant Dan pulls himself out of his chair to sit on the railing and then jumps in the water.
He never actually said so, but I think he made his peace with God.
Exterior boat, Forrest and Lieutenant Dan have dinner on the deck. The television shows the assassination attempt of President Gerald Ford.
For the second time in 17 days, President Ford escaped possible assassination today when a woman, Sarah Jane Moore, fired on him as he stepped out of a hotel in San Francisco.
Base 1 to Jenny 1. Base to Jenny 1.
Jenny 1, go, Margot.
Forrest has a phone call.
Yeah, well, you'll have to tell him to call him back. He's indisposed at the moment.
His mama's sick.
Lynette Alice Fromay, a follower of Charles Manson, better known as Squeaky, attempted to assassinate the president as he was.
Forrest dives into the water as he reacts to the news. Exterior road, Gump House day. Forrest carries a suitcase as he runs down the road. He runs past the row of mailboxes and turns up the drive. Louise and others are on the front porch.
Where's Mama?
She's upstairs. Interior Gump House in Mama's bedroom. Forrest opens the door and a doctor stands next to Mrs. Gump in bed.
Hi, Forrest.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
The doctor looks down at Forrest's legs.
Sure got you straightened out, didn't we, boy?
The doctor leaves and closes the door. Forrest takes off his hat and steps over to her.
What's the matter, Mama?
I'm dying, Forrest. Come on in now. Sit down over here.
Why are you dying, Mama?
It's my time. It's just my time. Oh, now, don't you be afraid, sweetheart. Death is just a part of life. It's something we're all destined to do. I didn't know it, but I was destined to be your mama. I did the best I could.
You did good, Mama.
Well, I happen to believe you make your own destiny. You have to do the best with what God gave you.
What's my destiny, Mama?
You're going to have to figure that out for yourself. Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're going to get.
Mama always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them.
I will miss you, Forrest.
She had got the cancer and died on a Tuesday. I bought her a new hat with little flowers on it.
At the bus stop at present, the elderly woman and Forrest sit. The woman is crying and wipes her eyes with a handkerchief.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A bus stops. Forrest looks at the elderly woman.
Didn't you say you were waiting for the number 7 bus?
There'll be another one along shortly.
Now, because I had been a football star and a war hero and a national celebrity and a shrimp boat captain and a college graduate, City of Fathers of Greenbow, Alabama decided to get together and offered me a fine job.
Exterior football field day. Forrest rides a lawn tractor as he mows the football field lawn.
So I never went back to work for Lieutenant Dan.
Forrest takes a letter out of the mailbox and opens it.
Though he did take care of my Bubba Gump money. He got me invested in some kind of fruit company, and so then I got a call from him saying we don't have to worry about money no more.
The letter is from the Apple Corporation.
And I said, that's good. One last thing.
Interior church day. The choir and members are singing.
Now, Mama said there's only so much fortune a man really needs.
Exterior of the church, the sign reads Foursquare Baptist Church. A new cross is placed on the steeple, and new furniture is taken inside.
Praise the Lord.
And the rest is just for showing off. So I gave a whole bunch of it to the Foursquare Gospel Church.
Exterior hospital day. The sign reads Gump Medical Center, Bayou La Battery, Alabama. A ribbon cutting ceremony.
And I gave a whole bunch to the Bayou La Battery Fishing Hospital.
Bubba's mama's house. A postman delivers a letter to Bubba's mom. She opens the letter.
And even though Bubba was dead, and Lieutenant Dan said I was nuts, I gave Bubba's mama Bubba's share.
She is surrounded by her many children. She looks at the check and faints. At the bus stop.
And you know what?
Interior Florida condo. A door opens and a white woman serves Bubba's mom some shrimp.
She didn't have to work in nobody's kitchen no more.
Smells wonderful.
Exterior football field as Forrest rides the mower.
Because I was a gazillionaire and I liked doing it so much, I cut that grass for free.
Exterior Gump house balcony night. Forrest looks down the road as he steps onto the porch.
And at night time, when there was nothing to do and the house was all empty, I'd always think of Jenny.
Jenny's image walks, then vanishes. Forrest looks away. He turns and walks into the house. The exterior Gump house day. Jenny walks across the lawn to Forrest.
And then she was there.
Hello, Forrest.
Hello, Jenny. Jenny came back and stayed with me.
Interior Gump house. Jenny lies asleep in bed.
Maybe it was because she had nowhere else to go. Or maybe it was because she was so tired, because she went to bed and slept like she hadn't slept in years. It was wonderful having her home.
Countryside day. Forrest and Jenny walk.
Every day we'd take a walk and I'd jab on like a monkey in a tree, and she'd listen about ping pong and shrimp boats and Mama making a trip to heaven. I did all the talking. Jenny most of the time was real quiet. Big old gobs of rain and little bitty stinging rain. And
Jenny's old house stands at the end of a dirt road. It appears to be deserted. Jenny walks towards the house and stops. She stares at it. Forrest walks toward Jenny. Jenny suddenly heaves a rock angrily at the house. She throws other things at the house.
How could you do this?
She breaks a window. Jenny collapses onto the ground and sobs. Forrest kneels down next to her.
Sometimes I guess there just aren't enough rocks.
At the old oak tree day, Jenny and Forrest sit on a limb together.
I never knew why she came back, but I didn't care. It was like olden times. We was like peas and carrots again.
Interior Gump house. Jenny sits by a vase of flowers and looks out the windows.
Every day I'd pick pretty flowers and put them in a room for her.
Forrest closes his eyes as he sits on the porch. Jenny places a box of Nike running shoes in his lap.
And she gave me the best gift anyone could ever get in the wide world.
Okay, you can open your eyes.
New shoes.
They make them just for running.
Through the windows, Forrest and Jenny are dancing as it rains outside.
And she even showed me how to dance. And well, we was like family, Jenny and me.
Jenny and Forrest sit on a log together next to a river, and Jenny places her arm around Forrest.
And it was the happiest time of my life.
Fireworks explode in the sky. The Statue of Liberty is shown on the TV as fireworks go off. Forrest and Jenny are watching a 4th of July celebration.
And this 4th is witnessing one of the largest fireworks displays in the nation's 200-year history.
You done watching it?
Mm-hmm.
Here in New York Harbor, after the spectacular displays of tall ships earlier, the Statue of Liberty.
Jenny stands and kisses Forrest on the cheek.
I'm going to bed.
Jenny turns off the TV and walks outside. Forrest stands up as he puts down his Dr. Pepper. Jenny walks towards the stairs.
Will you marry me? I'd make a good husband, Jenny.
You would, Forrest.
But you won't marry me.
You don't want to marry me.
Why don't you love me, Jenny? I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
Forrest turns and walks towards the door. Jenny turns and walks upstairs. The house stands in the rain. Forrest lies in his bed as the door opens. Jenny gets into bed next to Forrest.
Jenny?
Forrest, I do love you.
Jenny kisses Forrest. Jenny takes off her nightgown as they make love. Exterior Gump house in the morning. Jenny carries her purse and walks towards a waiting cab.
Where are you running off
to?
I'm not running.
Interior Gump house. The cab drives away as Forrest is asleep in his bed. The congressional medal lies on the table by a ping pong paddle. Forrest holds a glass of milk and wears a bathrobe. He looks at the medal he had given to Jenny. Jenny's bed is made. Forrest stands in the doorway looking at the room and the bed where Jenny had been. Exterior front porch, day. Forrest sits on a rocking chair with his running shoes on. He is still, as if in a trance. He slowly puts on his Bubba Gump cap. He stands. He walks off the porch and begins to jog across the lawn. His speed increases as he runs farther away. Forrest runs down the driveway away from his house.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run.
Forrest runs to the end of the drive, then turns right and runs down the highway.
So I ran to the end of the road, and when I got there, I thought maybe I'd run to the end of town.
At the barbershop day, the three men sit as they watch television. Forrest runs through the main street.
President Carter, suffering from heat exhaustion, fell into the arms of security agents.
When I got there,
Exterior Alabama Road, the sign reads, entering Greenbow County.
I thought maybe I'd just run across Greenbow County. And I figured since I run this far, maybe I'll just run across the great state of Alabama. And
Forrest runs by
did.
a sign. Forrest runs by a sign that reads, "Welcome, Mississippi welcomes you, the Magnolia State." At the
And
bus
that's
stop
what-
at present.
For no particular reason, I just kept on going. I ran clear to the ocean.
In Santa Monica, the sign reads, Santa Monica Yacht Harbor Sport Fishing Boats Cafes. Forrest runs under the sign and onto the pier.
When I got there, I figured since I'd gone this far, I might as well turn around, just keep on going.
Atlantic Ocean. Forrest runs to a pier at the Atlantic Ocean.
When I got to another ocean, I figured since I've got this far, I might as well just turn back, keep right on going.
He runs across the pier. A lighthouse stands at the end.
When I got tired, I slept. When I got hungry, I ate. When I had to go, I went.
And so you just ran?
Yeah.
On a highway, Forrest is running. Forrest runs down a road between a field of wheat, a mountain, a river. Forrest runs across Cobblestone Bridge. The Rocky Mountains are behind him in the distance. Forrest runs through some meadowland. A split rail fence lines the road.
I think a lot about Mama and Bubba and Lieutenant Dan. Most of all, I thought about Jenny. I thought about her a lot.
The three men sit in the barbershop and watch the news on television.
For more than 2 years now, a man named Forrest Gump, a gardener from Greenbow, Alabama, stopping only to sleep, has been running across America.
Interior coffee shop. Jenny fills a customer's coffee cup.
Charles Cooper brings us this report.
For the fourth time on his journey across America, Forrest Gump, a gardener from Greenbow, Alabama, is about to cross the Mississippi River again today.
The TV shows Forrest running across a bridge that reads Mississippi River.
I'll be damned. Forrest.
On the bridge.
Sir, why are you running?
Why are you running?
Are you doing this for world peace?
Are you doing this for women's rights?
Or for the environment.
Or for the animals?
Or for nuclear arms?
They just couldn't believe that somebody would do all that running for no particular reason.
Why are
you doing this?
I just felt like running. I just felt like running.
Forrest runs as a young man runs up to him.
Hey, man, it's you. I can't believe it's really you.
Now, for some reason, what I was doing seemed to make sense to people.
In the small eastern town, the young man jogs behind Forrest.
I mean, it was like an alarm went off in my head, you know? I said, here's a guy who's got his act together. Here's somebody who can, who's got it all figured out. I mean, here's somebody who's got the answer. I mean, I'll follow you anywhere, Mr. Gump.
So I got company.
Forrest runs up a slope on a high mountain road, a group of people jogging behind him.
And after that, I got more company.
A large group jogs behind Forrest across the desert road.
And then even more people joined in. Somebody later told me, gave people hope. Now I don't know anything about that, but
Forrest and his followers jog through a small town. A man runs up and talks to Forrest.
some of those people asked me if I could help them out.
Hey, man, hey, listen. I was wondering if you might help me, huh? Listen, I'm in the bumper sticker business, and I've been trying to think up a good slogan. And since you have been such a good inspiration to the people around here, I thought you might be able to help me jump into, whoa, man, you just ran through a pile of dog shit.
The hippie jumps over the dog shit as he runs along with Forrest.
Shit happens.
What shit?
Sometimes.
The hippie stops to ponder this profound thought.
And some years later, I heard that fella did come up with a bumper sticker slogan.
A bumper sticker reads, "Shit happens."
And he made a lot of money off of it.
The truck with the bumper sticker drives into an intersection and collides with a car. At a truck stop, Forrest runs, followed by his group as a man runs up to him.
Another time I was running along, somebody who had lost all his money in the t-shirt business, and he wanted to put my face on a t-shirt, but he couldn't draw that well, and he didn't have a camera.
I think it'd be really fortunate for me if I could get your name on these, or your face, or on some of these t-shirts. It'd be wonderful. A truck splatters mud onto Forrest as it goes by. The man hands Forrest a yellow t-shirt to use as a rag to wipe the mud off. Here, use this one. Nobody likes that color anyway. Forrest wipes his face on the towel and hands it back to the man.
Have a nice day.
The man looks at the t-shirt and holds it up, displaying the happy face.
Some years later, I found out that man did come up with an idea for a t-shirt, and he made a lot of money off of it.
Monument Valley. Forrest runs up with a group that follows him.
Anyway, like I was saying, I had a lot of company. My mama always said you got to put the past behind you before you can move on. And I think that's what my running was all about. I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
Forrest stops running. The group stops behind him. Forrest stands and looks at the group as they wait expectantly. Forrest turns.
Quiet, he's going to say something.
I'm pretty tired. I think I'll go home now.
Forrest walks towards the group. The group parts for Forrest as he walks down the middle of the road.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
Just like that, my running days was over. So I went home to Alabama.
A television shows President Reagan and his staff as they react to gunshots in front of a limo.
Moments ago at 2:25 p.m., as President Reagan was leaving the Washington Hilton Hotel,
Forrest sits eating a sandwich, watching the news of the assassination attempt.
5 or 6 gunshots were fired by an unknown would-be assassin. The president was shot in the chest, and the assailant was immediately tackled by half a dozen lawmen. As a presidential,
I picked up the mail.
Oh, thank you, Miss Louise. One day, out of the clear blue sky, I got a letter from Jenny,
At the bus stop present, Forrest takes the letter out of his pocket.
wondering if I could come down to Savannah to see her, and that's what I'm doing here. She saw me on TV running. I'm supposed to go on the number 9 bus to Richmond Street and get off and go 1 block left to 1947 Henry Street, apartment 4.
What? You don't need to get on and take a bus. Henry Street is just 5 or 6 blocks down that way.
Down that way?
Down that way.
It was nice talking to you.
Forrest runs. The elderly woman shouts from the bus stop bench. A truck horn honks as Forrest runs across the street.
I hope everything works out for you.
Interior Jenny's apartment day. Jenny opens the door.
Hey, Forrest. How you doing? Come in. Come in.
I got your letter.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
Jenny shuts the door and Forrest looks around.
Is this your house?
Yeah, it's messy right now. I just got off work.
It's nice. You got air conditioning.
Forrest hands Jenny the box of chocolates.
Thank you.
All right, some.
Jenny picks up a scrapbook and turns the pages.
Hey, I kept a scrapbook of your clippings and everything. There you are. I got your running.
I ran a long way for a long time.
There. Listen, Forrest. I don't know how to say this. I want to apologize for everything that I ever did to you because I was messed up for a long time.
There's a knock at the door. Lynn Marie enters as she opens the door.
You.
Hey.
Hi.
Jenny grabs a young boy.
Hey, you. This is an old friend of mine from Alabama.
Oh, how do you do?
Listen, next week my schedule changes, so I'll be able to, but thank you for picking up.
And no problem. I gotta go, Jen. I'm double parked.
Okay.
Lynn Marie closes the door and waves bye to Forrest.
Bye.
Thanks. This is a very good friend, Mr. Gump. Can you say hi to him?
Hello, Mr. Gump.
Hello.
Now, can I go watch TV now?
Yes, you can. Just keep it low.
The little boy runs into the other room and picks up the TV remote.
You're a mama, Jenny.
I'm a mama. His name is Forrest.
Like me.
I named him after his daddy.
He got a daddy named Forrest, too?
You're his daddy, Forrest.
Forrest continues to stare at Forrest Jr. Forrest then looks frightened and stares back at Jenny.
Hey, Forrest. Look at me. Look at me, Forrest. There's nothing you need to do, okay? You didn't do anything wrong, okay?
Jenny turns and looks at Forrest Jr. in the other room.
Isn't he beautiful?
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Is he smart? Or is he?
He's very smart. He's one of the smartest in his class.
Forrest breathes deep. He looks at Jenny, then at Forrest Jr.
Yeah, it's okay. Go talk to him.
Forrest walks into the room and sits down next to Forrest Jr. Sesame Street is on TV.
Oh, great.
Hey, Bert, can you give me a hand?
A hand? Well, yeah. What do you want, Ernie?
What are you watching?
Bert and Ernie.
Well, it's the first stage, Bert. I'm planning to write a story, Bert. I have a pencil right here to write with, Bert. Now, we got paper. I'll take that paper, Bert. See, we have this paper to write on. A park, day. Forrest and Jenny sit on a bench. Forrest Jr. swings behind them.
Forrest, I'm sick.
What, do you have a cough due to cold?
I have some kind of virus, and the doctors don't know what it is, and then there isn't anything they can do about it.
You could come home with me, Jenny. You and Lil Forrest could come and stay at my house in Greenbow. I'll take care of you if you're sick. Okay.
Exterior Gump House day. A group has gathered on the lawn for the wedding. Louise walks up to Forrest.
Please take your seats.
Forrest, it's time to start. Jenny walks out of the house. Forrest walks over to greet her. She wears a white dress. She walks up to Forrest and adjusts his necktie.
Tie your tie.
Lieutenant Dan is walking across the lawn. He uses a cane. A woman is walking next to him.
Lieutenant Diane? Lieutenant Diane!
Hello, Forrest.
Jenny walks over to Forrest and Lieutenant Dan.
You got new legs. New legs!
Yeah, I got new legs.
Lieutenant Dan lifts his pant legs to display his metal leg.
Custom-made titanium alloy. It's what they use on the space shuttle.
Magic legs.
This is my fiancée, Susan.
Lieutenant Diane?
Susan shakes Forrest's hand.
Hi, Forrest.
Lieutenant Diane, this is my Jenny.
Hey, it's nice to meet you finally.
Jenny steps forward and kisses Lieutenant Dan's cheek. The group is seated as they watch Forrest and Jenny take vows on the front of the lawn. Forrest Jr. stands next to Jenny.
Do you, Forrest, take Jenny to be your wife? Do you, Jenny, take Forrest to be your husband? If so, I pronounce you man and wife.
The wind blows fallen leaves across the ground. Jenny, Forrest, and Forrest Jr. walk toward the house. They all hold hands as they walk. Interior Gump House morning. Forrest steps into Jenny's bedroom. He carries a tray with breakfast on it. Forrest looks at Jenny as she sleeps. Slowly, she wakes up and looks at Forrest.
Hi.
Hey.
Forrest sets the tray down next to Jenny as she sits up in bed. He opens a window and sits down next to the bed.
Hey, Forrest. Were you scared in Vietnam?
Yes. Well, I don't know.
A flashback to Vietnam. Forrest looks up into the sky as the rain stops. Forrest removes his helmet and the stars emerge from behind a cloud.
Sometimes it would stop raining long enough for the stars to come out. Then it was nice. It was like just before the sun goes to bed down on the bayou.
A flashback to the bayou. Forrest stands on his boat, looking at a deep orange-red sunset.
There was over 1 million sparkles on the water, like that mountain lake.
At the mountain lake, a flashback. Forrest runs along a highway. A lake reflects the mountain and the sky.
It was so clear, Jenny. It looks like there were two skies, one on top of the other, and then in the desert when the sun comes up.
A flashback to the desert as Forrest runs along the highway. The morning light casts an orange glow.
I couldn't tell where heaven stopped and the earth began. It was so beautiful.
At the Gump House morning, Forrest looks at Jenny. Jenny looks out the window.
I wish I could have been there with you, Forrest.
You were.
Jenny reaches over and takes Forrest's hand.
I love you.
You died on a Sunday morning.
Jenny's grave at the old oak tree day. Forrest stands under the old oak tree where Jenny has been buried.
And I had you placed here under our tree.
At Jenny's grave marker, he tries to hold back tears.
I had that house on your father's bulldozed to the ground.
Forrest watches as Jenny's father's house is knocked down.
Mama always said dying was a part of life.
Her grave marker reads Jenny Gump, July 16th, 1945 to March 22nd, 1982. Beloved mother, wife, and friend.
I sure wish it wasn't. Little Forrest, he's doing just fine.
Forrest Jr. reads a book to Forrest sitting next to him.
But he wasn't quite sure. Everywhere they went, the new guests.
About to start school again soon. I make his breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Forrest looks down as he sobs.
Every day. I make sure he combs his hair, brushes his teeth every day. Teaching him how to play ping pong. Okay. He's really good. Forrest, you go.
Forrest Jr. serves the ball, causing Forrest to dive and miss it. Exterior Gump House and River. Forrest and Forrest Jr. sit on a log by the river and fish.
We fish a lot.
Forrest looks down at Jenny's grave marker.
And every night, we read a book. He's so smart, Jenny. You'd be so proud of him. I am. He wrote a letter, and he says I can't read it. I'm not supposed to, so I'll just leave it here for you.
Forrest placed the letter down at the grave marker next to fresh flowers. The name on the envelope reads Mom. Forrest steps back and looks down at the grave.
Jenny, I don't know if Mama was right or if it's Lieutenant Dan. I don't know if we each have a destiny or if we're all just floating around accidental like on a breeze, but I think maybe it's both. Maybe both is happening at the same time. I miss you, Jenny. If there's anything you need, I won't be too far away.
As Forrest walks away, a flock of birds fly overhead and land in the trees. Exterior road morning. Forrest walks with Forrest Jr. for the bus. The bus drives towards them.
Here's your bus, okay?
Forrest pulls Curious George out of Forrest Jr.'s backpack.
Hey, I know this.
You're muted.
I'm going to show that for show and tell because Grandma used to read it to you.
Forrest looks at the book. The feather from the beginning of the movie drops out of the book, unnoticed.
My favorite book.
The bus comes to a stop and the door opens.
Well?
Forrest puts the book back in Forrest Jr.'s backpack and hands it to him.
Okay. Hey, there you go.
Forrest Jr. walks towards the bus. Forrest stands up.
Hey, Forrest. I wanted to tell you I love you.
I love you too, Daddy.
I'll be right here when you get back.
Forrest Jr. looks into the bus and at the bus driver. It's the same bus driver, only older now, who drove Forrest to school when he was a young boy.
You understand this is the bus to school, don't you?
Of course. And you're Dorothy Harris, and I'm Forrest Gump.
Forrest Jr. looks over and waves at his father. Forrest nods approvingly. Forrest Jr. gets on the bus and the bus pulls away. Forrest stands next to the mailboxes. Forrest sits down. The camera cranes down, revealing the feather as it lies at Forrest's feet. A gust of wind picks up the feather. The feather floats into the air. Forrest sits at the side of the road, and the feather floats higher into the air. The feather soars up into the sky, traveling up and down, then covers the camera lens. The end.